Hey, Isabella, did you see Tom Brady finally gave us the interview?
My little sweetie pie.
Yeah, that little sweetie pie gave us the interview we've all been waiting for, or at least his publicist did. Speaking of GQ, he was talking about walking the runway for Gucci, and when asked about his famous leather pants, leather jacket look, he said, quote, "Yeah, I'd never really done leather on leather before, but there are some leather pants in my closet now. I thought, damn, that's actually really comfortable. I could see why people wear this."
Tom.
Comfortable?
Really? Have you seen that episode with Ross when he's on a date and
Yes.
he's wearing the leather pants and he's like dumping baby powder
Yes.
and all this shit down there?
Yes.
Come on. Remember when he was on Runway with the leather?
Yeah, that was the look.
Yeah, and
I'm convinced he couldn't get out of it. I think
he's
couldn't
been
get
in it
off.
ever since.
He's just been walking around in it, going, take some pictures and let's do this like we meant to. No way. I've never put leather on and gone, this is actually really comfortable.
I have not
Like
either.
I've put it on and gone like, not as bad as I thought, but I've never gone like, yeah, dude, I feel like I'm in my PJs.
Yeah, no, unless it's a jacket, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I don't like the way talking about Tom Brady makes me feel now. I used to have a different approach towards the man, but now it's all this, and I don't like this. Can we start the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello! Hi, and welcome to Casuals, the sports podcast for everybody. It doesn't matter if you know anything. We want everybody to know about sports, so we're going to talk about them. We're also going to talk about Dolly today. We got to talk about Dolly. It's a day without Dolly Parton. We love Dolly Parton. And there are sports connections with Dolly Parton, but she also is just like the most wonderful human. And so we'll talk about that. We got a lot to get to. We're also going to talk about Kinley Rasmus. We told you about her, the Little League World Series star, Fear the Bow. We got an update on her. We're going to find out more about what Jed York was up to, the owner of the San Francisco 49ers, when he stopped at that trailer park in Ohio at 9 a.m. Every new detail that comes out about that story adds a new wrinkle. We've also got new Padres ownership. People have opinions. Maybe we have some. We'll see. We'll get to that. And then we're going to get you ready for the Casuals fantasy football draft. We're going to have the final 4 entrants, so you will know if you are in our actual league by the end of this episode. And then also we have a conversation with our friends at the Fantasy Footballers. They're going to come by and give us some tips and tricks that if this is your first year doing a fantasy football draft, what to avoid, what to target, all that kind of stuff to sort of help you. Isabella, we talked about the waiver wire a little bit in it. So
I know, and I was getting kind of annoyed they weren't saying wavy wire.
I know. I'm sorry. I tried to let them know. But we are this year going to get you well-versed. I should introduce the Casualties. It's the production crew here at SiriusXM. They are who are going to join me to talk about some of these stories before we get to the Fantasy Footballers. We have Isabella, our sports newbie.
Yep, that's me.
Returning champion of our Fantasy Football League. We also have our master editor, Chris.
What's up, everybody?
And Brady.
Yeah. Hey.
Not Tom. And not wearing leather pants?
No.
Not today.
Had to check.
He had to check. He had to look down because they're so comfortable, you could just not notice. Casuals with Katie Nolan at gmail.com, 646-801-0043. That's our voicemail. We love when you leave us voicemails. So if you have a thought and you want to do that, please call and do that. And then at Casuals, the podcast on IG and TikTok. Let's start with Dolly Parton, y'all. Tuesday, Dolly Parton's estate announced that the singer-songwriter, actress, and businesswoman had died at 80. Dolly Parton is a truly one of a kind. She's a piece of Americana. She is somebody who, to me, exemplifies the American dream and also shows at a time maybe when there are a lot of people who have influence and money and power. It shows that you can use those things to affect change, that you can use those things to be a force for good. Dolly Parton, and we will get to all of her accomplishments, she managed to also become known in her later chapters of her life for the effect that she was able to have on places like her hometown, the effect that she was able to have on children. We've got the, is it the Imagination Library,
Yep.
where she ships books to kids. A lot of kids refer to her as the book lady, and I watched so many clips of Dolly Parton last night, but one of them was her going like, I love that. I love being the book lady to your child, to any child, because books contain so much magic. And there's so much to say about her as a person, but my biggest takeaway from the way that she lived her life is that she just believed in leading with love. She believed in helping lift each other up. She instituted this program at the high school. It might have been across Tennessee, but I know it was at least in her high school, called a buddy system to help try to get kids to graduate. It was if you and a buddy both graduated together, you get $500, which to a kid is a big deal. She reduced the dropout rate significantly just by going, hey, you and your friend work on it together, get through this together. The tough times, lean on each other and help each other get to the end of the road, which is what we need you to get your education and graduate. And she's just such a beautiful person, a wonderful person with a huge heart, a big personality, an incredible sense of humor. Dolly Parton is funny as fuck. And so incredibly and immensely talented. And it's, a tough time to lose such a powerful force for love in the world when everything that you're scrolling seems to be a new, fresh hell every single day on your timeline. I will say it was nice to have a celebration of her life and to run into parts of her life I wasn't familiar with before yesterday. Sort of the timeline became overwhelmed with, of course, grief as we have lost the realest, greatest one. But a celebration of a life. I watched a ton of clips of her interviews in which she talks about a number of things, the way she feels about herself, how she is able to carry herself with confidence, why she dresses and does her hair and her makeup and the things that she does the way that she does. Clips about like imposter syndrome, which was probably, she was talking about it before we were even calling it that. But just like once you're in the door, don't let it hit you on the way in. You're in there for a reason and just be yourself, put your shoulders back and get to work. Like, Dolly Parton is such an inspiration to so many people. She's also one of the most universally beloved figures. And just her ability to create a world, to make a better world in her wake is unmatched. So we wanted to say, shout out to Dolly Parton, somebody with extensive sports ties. Her high school, when the girls' basketball team won the first championship in a while, she made a video for them, congratulating them and saying she was so proud of them, which meant so much. Can you imagine getting a video from Dolly Parton?
Oh, that's crazy.
That's like, hell yeah, girls, you did it. She was involved with Tennessee. They had stuff to say. Peyton Manning, didn't she once sing with Peyton Manning? They sang
She did
Rocky Top.
Yeah, with Peyton.
Was really beautiful. Look, Dolly meant a lot to a lot of people. Did she mean anybody to you guys, Casualties?
She was like, this hit so hard because Dolly was like the realest one, like the realest, most genuine like person we can all look up to that is still out there. And through 80 years of her life, I cannot think there's not a controversy, there's not a scandal, there's not a flaw in her. She had millions and millions and millions of dollars and was like the paragon of what you would hope everyone in the world would do with it. Like she came from nothing, like dirt poor. I was watching the ABC News profile and they said like her mother paid for the medical expenses of her childbirth with like a bag of oats that they grew on their farm because that's all they had to offer. But they wanted to make sure they paid the doctor for their services. Like Dolly came from, it was like 12 kids in a 2-room house and, said the best I can do, the best I can afford to better this world is I can always have a positive outlook and I can always sing. I will always have my voice. And coming from nothing, she took that voice and she went far. Her singing, her acting, her just being an inspiration and just pulling people up with her. She gave and gave and gave in a world where like we see people make millions and billions and want to make sure that the people behind them cannot do that. She wanted to make sure that everybody had every advantage that she wished she had. Just constantly you would see Dolly and smile and be like, oh, Dolly Parton's at an event. When Dolly Parton showed up at Thanksgiving 3-4 years ago at the Cowboys game, Dolly Parton out of nowhere came out and did halftime dressed as a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. And it was possibly the most beloved halftime show that has ever existed. No one said like, oh man, I can't believe they wasted time on Dolly. Everybody just threw up a fist and was like, hell yeah, Dolly's on TV. She still got it. Yeah, it hurts, man. And it's like people I don't know, you don't think they're going to hurt, but like every time, every now and then someone comes along, you're like, damn, Dolly,
Yeah.
I would have loved to go. I know that she had that amusement park, right?
Shout out Dollywood.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to that, but I've heard good things.
I think you still can.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know.
can.
There's no. I don't think they said, well, it's closed now. There's no more.
No, I know. I have never gone.
Maybe let's go on a class field trip
Oh, let's do it.
to Dollywood.
I guarantee you it's packed. I hope that place is
probably.
packed forever.
I know. I was thinking about I saw somebody tweet about imagine you're at Dollywood and they make the announcement. I think I would have dropped to my knees.
Oh,
I saw
man.
they're doing that 9 to 5 musical, which is, I assume, fully based off of the music of Dolly Parton. Or maybe not. Maybe it's not like a Mamma Mia situation with ABBA. But either way, they made an announcement before the performance of it I think it was somewhere in England last night. And I heard people find that out for the first time, which is like crazy to hear from them being like, tonight's a special performance. Dolly Parton has passed away. And people were like,
Yeah, I mean, I had the same reaction too.
I know,
we
same.
learned in the office, and we all go, "What?"
I know. And look, she was 80. It was
I know.
and it was after they
But
announced
Dolly
it was after
is forever.
I know. And she really
You
that's the
know?
thing is her legacy will live on. I really don't think
Yeah.
people aren't going to be forgetting her anytime soon. It really is fascinating that there is a generation, the younger generation might not even know
Well,
her
what I was
for
gonna
her
say
music.
for that is that she was beloved by many, but even of different generations. I know, for example, my age group, maybe young millennials and then older Gen Zers, a lot of us got introduced to Dolly through Hannah Montana because she's
yeah.
Miley Cyrus's godmother in real life,
Yeah.
and she plays Aunt Dolly on Hannah Montana as the godmother. And so I've already been seeing a lot of people where it's oh my God, Aunt Dolly. And so, you know what I mean? It's just the way that you can kind of people of whatever walk of life get introduced to this woman that we all just love,
Yeah.
Chris, your kids are Imagination Library kids, right?
Yeah, 100%. Katie, you were talking about before where a lot of kids have been saying, or been referring to her as book lady.
Book lady.
My daughter, whenever we receive a new book from the Imagination Library, she'd go, Daddy, Miss Dolly just sent me a new book.
Oh, stop
That's what she'd call her, Miss Dolly. And she got excited every single time we received a book from the Imagination Library. So, half the books I feel like in our kids' bookshelves are from Dolly Parton, which is incredible. And my wife said to me earlier today, she goes, I think we have to go to church this weekend so we can pray for Dolly Parton and for Tim Curry as well, who passed
I
away earlier
know,
today.
I
So we might be
know.
going to
And
church
I
this
guess
weekend in honor of Dolly Parton.
That's my question is that are we in the clear now? I feel like that's the 3. They always say big celebrity deaths come in 3, and I know Hayden Panettiere was a week ago, but that was a big tragic loss. It's just it's a tough time to lose a universally beloved figure like that, but I really do think what Dolly would want is for everybody to celebrate her life, talk about her the way that we are. Like I said, my feeds last night were all positive. Everybody sharing their favorite thing about Dolly, whether it was a musical performance, whether I saw that halftime performance was being shared, a photo of her that they loved, or a clip from an interview. And I mean, it's insane how many clips of interviews from different eras of her life she says something that you go, that's one of the most poignant things I've ever heard. She just, it seemed like somebody who was in touch with something deeper, something spiritual that connected her to all of us and reminded us that we are all connected to each other. And Dolly always led with that. She was an ally to all types of communities, all different types of people. And so I think what Dolly would want is for us to celebrate her life and then in whatever little way in your life you can make yourself more like Dolly and you can live more like Dolly, whatever that means to you. I think it's really not the worst thing in the world to encourage people to lead with love as opposed to hate and anger. There's a lot of badness in the world right now. There's a lot of difficulties. Everybody's got their own journey that they're walking. But something that humans have the ability to do that AI can't do, that the machines can't do, is love each other. It's unique to us. And we don't use it like the superpower that we should sometimes. And Dolly always did. So shout out to Dolly Parton. One of my favorite things, I didn't know she did a cover of, and won a Grammy for a cover of that Collective Soul song. God, what is the name of the actual song? The Heaven Let Your Light Shine Down. Shine. I think it's called Shine. She did a cover of Shine. She won a Grammy for it. It's awesome.
I had no idea.
Awesome. It's Dan came out last night and started playing it and he goes, put this on the playlist. I was like, yeah, it's awesome. I also saw a clip of her talking about how she wrote Jolene. And
I always look at Jolene as one of the greatest songs to ever be a karaoke. If you can sing, you can nail Jolene, but it will separate the haves and the have-nots quickly.
Also, my producer on the radio, Nate, on our show, Fan Service, which is on Mad Dog Sports Radio every day from noon to 1 Eastern, if you want to listen to it. It's a call-in show. Nate told us they played that at his wedding. And I went,
whoa, no!
You played Jolene at your wedding?
No!
And he was like, yeah, it sounds like
That's
my wife's
incredible.
name. And I went, Yeah. Do you know
The lyrics?
like even two lyrics and a lyric other than the name Jolene? I don't think wedding when I hear Jolene. And he was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "What do you mean? What do I mean?" But the thing about
Hilarious.
Jolene is I heard her telling the story of how she wrote it, and she said that she was signing autographs. I think it was after a show or something, and she was like, "Make it out to Jolene," and she was like, "Wow, what a beautiful name. I love that name." And then she was trying to, she didn't want to forget it before she could get back to her trailer or whatever and jot it down. So she was just sing-songy in her head going like, Jolene, 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 to remember it. And then she's like, that's how we got to how it eventually became what it was. Brady, you said there was another interesting story about Jolene.
There's an urban legend that is like true, and she's kind of disputed, saying like maybe I misremembered it, but the urban legend that I'm going to interpret as true because Dolly didn't refute it directly, that she wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You in the same goddamn night.
That's crazy.
Like that's
crazy.
When you're flowing, you're flowing,
Kobe
you know?
scoring 81.
Isabella's like, welcome to the flow state, okay? You just gotta let the pen, the only thing stopping you gotta let the pen keep going.
Yep.
Incredible to like just to be in the zone like that.
Yeah.
It's Wilt scoring 100. It's Jamal Lewis that day. He was like, I'm going to break the single game rushing record and then running for 296. It's insane.
It's that
to pull it
Shohei
off in
Ohtani
one
game
night.
from last year from the postseason. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's the
Oh, God,
Mets
yeah, the
every
3
single
homers.
game.
Well, so Isabella, I can't let you do that. Can't let you do that. It's definitely more impressive than that. I just have to say.
Disrespectful to Dolly, to
let's
be honest.
let's not go nuts, okay?
I'm so sorry, Dolly.
Dolly Parton, we fucking love you. You're the best.
Love
and yeah,
you.
hearts up for Dolly. Prayers up for her family. I mean, listen, her husband, they were married for how long before he passed away?
Since they were like 18
Yeah, it
or
was a
something
really
like
long
that.
time. And so I'm hoping that, they're reunited. I also saw today it's Wednesday where we're recording this. It's National Dog Day. And I was like, that's perfect because I bet all the dogs came out to greet Dolly when she came in. It's just, listen, keep her memory alive. Share your favorite Dolly stories with each other. It's a tough time to lose somebody so powerfully positive. But we got to do our best to keep that energy, that spirit alive. And Dolly did so much. The least we can do for her is to carry that on. Okay, pivot into sports here. We got a couple updates on the week's biggest stories. We've been talking about the Little League World Series. There is a girl that plays for the Alabama team, Kinley Rasmus. She is the daughter of a former star of the Little League World Series and also her uncle. They were brothers on the team. She's still doing great. I mean, I'm tuning in and watching these games and getting nervous, and then she doesn't look nervous at all. She is stepping up in a big way, whether it's in the field, whether it's on the mound, whether it's at the plate. She's awesome. We told you about her because they chant Fear the Bow.
Fear the Bow.
And I was so worried that because, of the recording and when the games are played and it was going to be possible that we'd tell you about her and you wouldn't be able to catch a game. They did win their game. She continues to deliver record-breaking moments. One day after she tied the Little League World Series record for total strikeouts by a girl, she then broke the record for most total hits by a girl with her 5th of the tournament. She's one of the leading bats, I feel like, in the tournament.
She looks like just the best player out there
I know.
at all times.
And
Like,
again, so confident and calm, collected. And it's, I believe, I don't know if we fact-checked this, that she said she would like to, she's focusing on flag football and softball after this.
I love that. I love when someone is so good at something and they're like, I love this too, but actually, I think I'm going to take a...
Actually, speaking of which, did you see Alyssa Liu?
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Do you want to talk about it?
I got mad because I wanted to say it.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Say it. Sorry. I didn't know if your algorithm was giving you sports yet. I'm honored that it is. But let me back up and you say what we were just both screaming about. Or do you want me to do it now?
You do it now.
Okay.
I'm too flustered.
Okay, Alyssa Liu posted that she is stepping away. I don't have it in front of me, but it was basically like, thank you all for your support, and I love skating, but it is important to me that I stay true to myself and I remain connected. And so she's like, I'm stepping away for I believe their season, their upcoming season. She's at least taking off. So, and what was awesome about that was seeing that I saw you like it, and I was like, that's my girl.
Yeah.
And then seeing all the comments be like, take your time. You do you.
Yeah.
You do you. Because just as somebody, again, who's worked in sports for a very long time, I opened the comments expecting toxicity, was very happy to not see it, and then also beat myself up going, stop expecting people to be toxic and allow them to be nice if they're going to be nice, and they were. So that was an important lesson for me to learn. But yes, this is sort of similar to Kinley in the sense that she's like, I know you guys are like, there's a women's professional baseball league. I want to play flag football, which also... You didn't squeal, Brady, but I did want to tee you up. You said your daughter is starting flag football today.
Starting tonight, yeah. First practice tonight.
How are we feeling?
I had her. I'm psyched. So I had her out in the yard. We were running the route tree last night. Just snapped right back into it, like high school.
How much is she? How old is she?
She's 10.
Okay, all right. So it's time.
It's her and a bunch of her lacrosse team are going to play flag football, and this the lacrosse team is a well-oiled machine. We'll see how well it translates, but it's out there just taking snaps, throwing probably like a little too aggressive 5-yard out routes to my 10-year-old child in the front yard.
Brady.
I was so happy.
Hands up.
It's
like, great.
You dropped that pivot foot. You cut hard. Well, 90
You
degrees.
and L. Duncan, simpatico. You're going like, you got to learn the fundamentals, okay? You got to know the fundamentals or it's not going to translate on the field, okay? It's also a cool time to be getting into flag football, I feel like, because then when LA comes around, she'll be watching the Olympics and seeing the girls they're doing
in the
girls
state
flag
of
football, right?
They are. In the state of Maryland, it is a big time varsity sport now in high school. Like
Maryland would be
off.
one of the leaders in that, I feel. Fair to
Well,
say.
so Under Armour injected a bunch of money into the high school programs a couple years ago, and it's just going county by county. It really has like taken off. Girls are into it. Like it's fun to watch.
Nice. So back to Kinley. 8 teams remain as of recording this. Are people going to be eliminated between now and when this airs?
Yeah, so Kinley's team has, by the time anyone hears this, Kinley's team will have had another elimination game. There is a chance,
right,
because she is not pitching tonight because of the Little League rules.
Right.
So, but we're not going to miss an opportunity to talk about her. So we're going to cross fingers and hope this is not the end.
She's awesome. It's real fun to watch. Isabella, I know you mentioned you had been keeping an eye on Bayonne, the New Jersey team.
I know.
Did you see that game earlier this week?
But I heard.
Yeah, it was a tough 4th inning. I love the Little League World Series. I think we've said this before because you get to see the kids who have not yet been media trained and figured out how to hide their emotions. They sort of just wear them on their sleeve. And so I do love that part of it. I also hate that part of it because you get these moments where you're like, this is such a tough spot to put a 12-year-old in. And yesterday during the Bayonne game that I was watching, it was the 4th inning. It was tied 0-0, and they put a pitcher in, and something was wrong. He could not, the ball was slipping, or he was slipping. He could not throw a strike. The team in the booth were like, you got to take him out. They weren't taking him out because you're also going, this is a 12-year-old. You don't want to let him throw like 5 pitches and then yank him. You got to give him a chance to overcome. And he started to overcome, but I think he walked the bases full. Then they pull him. Then you bring in another 12-year-old and go, hey, bases are loaded, no outs. Get on the mound. Don't let anybody score. And that's not what happened. They scored a bunch. And then I believe now they are out. So good run by Bayonne.
Yeah.
But goodbye to them.
Did you saw that thing I DM'd you on Instagram?
What was it?
I was, because you were talking about the Little League, and I was like, this would be me in the Little League World Series, and this would be me in MLB as well. If I was a pitcher during every mound meeting, I would be asking everyone if they still liked me.
I love that. She'd be going, she'd hit everybody's glove and go, are you mad?
Hey guys, I know I walked like 2 batters in a row, but like, do you still like me, please?
Hey guys, sorry about that and that and that. But are we cool?
Are we still friends?
Are we still cool? Are we still having the sleepover tonight?
Yes, exactly.
I just need a visual. I need you all to make eye contact and say yes that we are still having a sleepover
tonight. And then the coach comes out and points to the what is it, the dugout or
the bullpen?
Bullpen, and I go, fuck.
Oh yeah, I was
the very first time I pitched in a baseball game. I had never practiced pitching before. I'd always wanted to like actually practice, but because we had like our club had 5 different teams, right? You got like the A team, B team, C team, and so I was on the 4th out of 5 teams.
Okay.
So not a lot of mound time for me before I made my debut, right? So I started, and I had a very similar experience as this kid did, where I was balking a lot because I didn't know.
I still don't know, but yeah, go ahead.
And I was just feeling like I was doing the right thing, and they kept saying not balk. I'm like, I don't fucking know what I'm doing.
At a certain point, you stop calling a balk on a Little League pitcher, but
crazy.
digress.
Well, I was at Little League. That's the issue. I was a grown adult at this stage.
Oh, I'm sorry. In my
Which is
head,
why
you
I
were
never-
10. Well, how old were you?
25.
This is a crucial part of the story,
25.
Chris. What the fuck are you talking about?
25.
You were 25.
This is a whole story about Little League kids.
Because I wanted to start.
Poor little Chris with his little accent.
Still poor little Chris. I'd never been given the opportunity to practice.
Totally. He's waited
They
25
put me in
years
the
for
game.
this.
I kept walking the
Damn.
batters.
Damn.
I kept balking and all that sort of
Whoa.
stuff. But I stayed in, and the reason why I wanted to stay in, I'm like, this is the only chance that I'm going to get to actually be able to practice and get better because they're
Wow.
not giving me any time during training. I tried to catch up with the managers throughout the week to teach me how to pitch away from our regularly scheduled training at times. They wouldn't let me do that.
He
so I'm
was
like, well, I guess I have to
craving
do it during-
information and instruction. And
I
instead,
was,
he
and
just
so
kept
that was the
balking in
reason.
a run.
Yeah, and I didn't care. I'm like, you know what? Fuck y'all. I'm gonna just stay in as long as I can until someone drags me off because this
so
is the
funny.
only way I'm gonna get
It's
better.
so funny because
Chris is
spiritually,
like, I'm not leaving the mound.
spiritually, it's the inverse of Isabella, which was when at the meeting she'd go, "Is everybody still happy with me?" And Chris was like, "Fuck you guys! You don't want it to go like this? Let me practice next time. You're stuck with it." It's perfect. It's perfect. The reveal of you being 25.
I only played
Probably
one
my
season.
favorite moment of the entire podcast. I don't know how you thought that detail wasn't relevant, but I'm on cloud 9 right now. So let's bring me down. Let's talk about this college back to the pros, back to college story. Remember this? How we went into this, right? We've unpacked that
Yeah.
because of where college sports is at. They're now having this thing where if you left and declared for the NFL draft, and like there's a guy was on the Browns who is getting cut, is now got a deal with Lane Kiffin. Everybody remembers Lane Kiffin, who's now at LSU after abandoning his team at Ole Miss for the playoffs last year. He's at LSU. They've got a deal that he'll let him play on LSU if he comes back to college. And so there was that injunction, I believe, that the Louisiana courts passed that allowed for this to possibly happen. And then, of course, LSU runs to the front of the line and goes like, we'll do it the most, because we'll get into this as we go. The update is that the Big Ten and the SEC, two conferences in college football, two of the big conferences that remain. There's been a lot of shuffling and such, but the Big Ten and the Southeastern Conference, they have both kind of come out and said, we're going to enforce a rule that in our schools you're not allowed to do this. Now, I had a lawyer called into the radio show today and tried to help Isabella and I understand this better. And as I understand it, because of the legal mess of everything, once they allowed student athletes to be paid, that's why most of these court cases, we're just going to keep seeing headlines like this. But basically, what the court filing that did was freeze the status quo, basically, and say, while we figure this out, and there will be a hearing, she said probably next week, but I don't know. That's just based off of, I'm taking her word for it. They're freezing it as it is, going, while we figure this out, nothing in these rules can change. And so then the SEC and the Big Ten coming out and saying, we are making these other rules, is their way of saying, no matter what ends up happening in court, this is how we run our conference. That's within their power to do. They're not getting in the way. I know Lane Kiffin came out and said, you can't tell them what to do. If the court says that they can do it, then no one cares what the SEC says. And I think the SEC's position is once you figure out in court if you can do it, because we sort of saw this, not to jump around back to topics, but Brady, when you told us about the Little League World Series drama, wasn't there an injunction in court that then they had to act as if that was the rule, but then when they went back and checked it, they were like, no, actually, everything is fine the way it is.
They filed the restraining order just to say freeze this ruling while we check it out for
Right.
the Oklahoma team to be able to play with the illegal player.
Right.
And then the next day they're like, all right, never mind, you could
Never
go
mind,
ahead
it's
with
good
this
to
ruling.
go. So we're
Yeah.
still waiting on the courts to actually, I guess, make a decision about whether players can. But I also, from the player's position, I could see, or from an agent's position, who are the SEC? Who's Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC, to tell me, a football player who just tried to go to the NFL to make money, and now I've been told I'm not going to make that much money there, and there's more money on the table and an offer for me to continue doing what I'm doing for money. Who is Greg Sankey to tell me I can't make money? I can see that position as a person who always tries to err on the side of player empowerment. Like I've said before, there's not a lot of jobs in football. So if you're not making it as a player, who are these commissioners to tell them they can't go back to school? Now, there should be a rule about like you've got to go to school here. That feels like the easiest way to solve all of this is like you've got to go to school here.
I mean, that's easy. You take one online class.
But not
Penn
that.
State's quarterback came out and said,
they told me I had to take more than one class. The way you enforce it on other people that don't play football, enforce it on the people who want to play football. But I don't know. The whole thing's kind of a mess. Did I miss any big points on the update of this, or is this still like we'll keep an eye on it?
I mean, I worry that by the time this even gets to the listener, there's going to be an injunction and there's going to keep being updated. And this poor guy, like, you got Daquan Wright being like, I want to go play football.
That's who played for the Browns. Or he didn't play. He didn't play. He dressed for both of at least one of the preseason games, but he did not get out there. Yeah.
They're trying to go play football. We got quarterbacks trying to go to Texas Tech. They're like, school starts next week. Am I on this team or not? Like, we have a game in 2 days. Bill Belichick and the UNC is playing TCU on Saturday. Like, this season starts, and we still have teams that don't know if players are allowed to be on the roster.
Horns up. Go Horns
Frogs.
Up. Meanwhile, while we're talking LSU, we might as well please talk about the Kim Mulkey thing, which... So, I mean, it is kind of similar because it's, I don't know if an American pro and a Russian pro are the same, but a Russian pro player, she played pro in Russia. Kim Mulkey just signed her to come play for LSU's women's basketball team. LSU's women's basketball team no longer has, because she left, they had a Ukrainian player whose father is like in the Ukrainian army. And that player just yesterday, I believe, earlier this week, left. She informed Kim Mulkey and LSU, like, I'm not going to be... Now, we don't have, like, her going, like, I don't want to play with this person, but it's certainly an interesting story. Mulkey said she hoped...
Hold on, take a deep breath before you read this one.
Oh, God, it's really bad. I haven't read... you could tell I was just about to...
I could tell you had not read this paragraph yet.
Really?
From Kim Mulkey talking to NOLA.com.
Okay, and this is about Ukrainian-born Kate Koval, who announced she's transferring due to, quote, personal reasons after Russian professional Anna Minaeva was signed to play the same position. They're both centers. And again, Koval's father is a drone operator in the Ukrainian army. So here we go, Kim Mulkey, probably wearing something crazy and saying something that matches. Mulkey said she hoped Koval and Minaeva could be, quote, ambassadors for kindship, and suggested that, quote, you never know, end quote. Perhaps the two players as teammates could help end the war. What? And this is a quote now. And Koval just kind of smiled and said, I doubt that. Oh my fucking God. Now, do we feel Kim Mulkey's being self-aware in the recounting of this story to NOLA.com, where she goes, look, I told the girls, you guys could be real leaders in the space. You guys could really model for these grown men how to come together through kindness and be teammates. And, maybe you could help end the war. And she looked at me and said, I doubt it. Do you think she's seeing that from Koval's perspective and going, yeah, she basically told me I was being stupid and she's right? Aww. Or do you think she was telling that story going like...
If Kim Mulkey is self-aware, she's not telling this story.
Shit, dude. What
This is Deshaun Watson levels of
What was she wearing when
non-awareness.
she said that?
Wow, Isabella. Wow, Isabella. You know who you sound like. When we ask it with Kim Mulkey, it's different. We mean, was she dressed like she was working at a charity casino?
I have very limited context of Kim Mulkey, so please give me grace.
Such a good point. More updates. Good and Callaway. This story fucking blows because it is really tough to be confronted by the amount of people who want to make an excuse for this. I know that there has been swift response. The response from Golf Channel, they were supposed to debut. It's crazy they did this the week of what was supposed to be the debut of a show. Had they had a season of this show before, Brady? Are you aware?
Big Break has existed, but I believe this is the first instance where it's partnered with Good Good.
Okay, and so that was supposed to premiere this week. Golf Channel announced that they're going to postpone it a week and that it will come out next Tuesday. Bit of a rough rough draw there for them, that they essentially said, we'll see you next Tuesday. But it is what it is. That's just the day it was supposed to air. They pulled that. And then this is what I mean about being disappointed. I saw a lot of people going like, oh, snowflakes. Snowflakes are overreacting. And listen, I can't believe, first of all, that we're not past that. But second of all, I'm not offended by the ad. I was shocked it passed as many layers of approval as it did without a single person going, hey, maybe in the larger, because I still haven't seen the full ad. I've really only seen 2 clips that seem completely unrelated, but that I imagine add up to some grand concept that they had. But they got in their own way and had to take it down. I've seen people go, you don't know the context that it was in. I don't care. If you are going to clip just the section where a man and who is golfing with a group of men that you can see in the background approaches a woman, not only like body checks her to the ground, but then the camera, whoever directed the ad, makes the creative decision to put the camera at the point of view of the woman who's been shoved to the ground, and the man, who I think I have since found out is the head of Good Good. He's like the lead of Good Good. He's either their most good boy. I don't know what the fuck this company is, but he's like one of the lead ones. Leans down into the camera and menacingly says, like, keep your hands off of my driver or whatever. Nobody once went like, that clip living on its own. We can't have that represent either Good Good or Callaway. Callaway is like a legacy brand. It's a huge name in the space. And I get that they're trying to appeal to a younger market by partnering with Good Good. And I want that. I want that for golf. I want that. I don't want this. And then when their first statement that Good Good puts out, it focuses on how they want golf to be an inclusive space. Like, that's an issue that we would like you to care about, but that's not the issue with the ad. Are you trying to say you included a woman to try to appease us and she just happened to be it's been very disappointing to see. I've already bitched about the person who said, it's a script. They're acting, which, like, bro, that's obviously, we know that. We're not mad that a violent act was committed against a woman. We're mad that an advertisement, something whose job it is to make the product look good in a good light. They are presenting it to you and hoping that you give them your hard-earned money for their product. And nobody thought to go, maybe we shouldn't have a man assault a woman and then threaten her as our advertisement. You can say till you're blue in your face you want golf to be a more inclusive space. But even the replies of who I assume are previously existing Good fans to the backlash, the replies I've seen, the hashtag shrink the game, you can say that you're about inclusivity, but if your fans react to you making a boneheaded move to anyone who's ever taken one advertising class in their lives, you made a stupid fucking mistake, people called you on it, you took your stuff down and you're paying a price for it now. But your fans are going, the people who are offended by this are the ultimate problem. You've not built a community that is based on including people in the game. If their first reaction to this is to say, close the game back up, stop letting women in, women ruin our fun, you've not done what you seem to think is an important thing to you. So I would urge the good guys over at Good to reevaluate. And the whole thing has just been exhausting to me. Is there another update or anything I've missed in the story? No.
That's it for now.
Yeah, we'll take that as a no. It said the premiere won't be shown till September 1st, which Golf Channel said will allow for necessary production updates. I have no idea what that is, and I
wonder what they have to take out.
Yeah. A sponsor wanted to be removed from the show.
Correct.
So I guess it's entirely possible still that they are buying themselves a week and then they end up coming out with something else. I know Callaway has been like, our bad, we shouldn't have. But they also mentioned they signed off on it. It went through the internal approval process. And if that's not shocking to you, then we've lost the plot. you're not supposed to make it look, you're not supposed to align your product with such an obvious red flag negative thing. I feel like I'm losing my mind watching people discuss this. We're not like, oh, and so my delicate sensibilities. It's like, are you guys fucking serious? Have you ever made an ad in your lives? That's the reaction. Okay, let's talk about Jed York. Yay! Okay, so as if the 49ers haven't been through enough this offseason, with Kyle Shanahan originally getting in an accident that we didn't find out till a month after, which made everybody go, Then they blamed it on the girl who was driving, and then Kyle Shanahan was like, no, it was my fault. Then we find out the car was auto driving. So now, and then we've got on top of the electrical substation of it all, which has all of our joints feeling a little wobbly. Then we
Their
find
highest
out,
paid wide receiver also spending the entire offseason motherfucking the organization on
Brandon
Instagram
Ayuk.
until they won't play him anymore.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk. And we've not really spoken about that story because every clip I've sort of looked at it appears as though Brandon Ayuk is maybe going through something, maybe like a mental health issue. And I'm not assigning that to him. I'm leaving room for that to be the case and therefore sort of backing off of it. Now is probably the time to mention the story that came out that we aren't going to spend a lot of time on, that the 1 in 4 NFL players who have died between the years of something. I don't have them in front of me, but they've died between a certain amount of years. They did a study and found that 1 in 4 of them suffered from CTE. And that is chronic traumatic encephalopathy. And it is a brain, thank you, Brady, gave me the thumbs up to let me know I didn't say encephalopagus, which I do sometimes say.
It is constantly a risk.
It's just a real bad brain thing that, to give you the cliff notes, the NFL was made aware of the connection between football, and it's not just football, it's other sports. Hockey has an issue to deal with as well, but there's a connection between playing football, and having this, but they can only diagnose it once you've died. And so the NFL then was accused of trying to cover that up because that's a very dangerous truth to their business model. They've since taken a couple measures, I guess, to try to make the sport safer. In that regard, everybody differs on how they feel, if they've done a good job or not. We don't have time to dive into that right now, but that study did come out this week. Those numbers are pretty shocking and alarming to me, 1 in 4. And so we had debated mentioning it on the podcast that is for casuals, and I tossed it in the Jed York portion. So back to Jed York, the owner of the 49ers, who is, by the way, just for context, third-generation rich kid. And I think that's important context because he's not just the son of the billionaire that owned the team. That billionaire was the son of a billionaire. So I believe, maybe not B, maybe it was M, I don't know. They just have been rich, and benefiting from that for generations. And the reason I say that is because a rich kid who comes up in that sort of a environment, you can imagine their feet aren't touching the ground the same way ours are. They're not really living in a reality that maybe reflects or resembles yours or mine, let's say, right? Because I'd just like us to keep that in mind as we dive into the details that have been trickling in about this story where he was arrested okay, let me just start with what we know now. He used a pseudonym, Jed York did, and tried to respond to, multiple times, a fictitious ad for a prostitute, a sex worker, prior to his arrest in Ohio over the weekend. So he was arrested at a trailer park. That mobile home park came out and gave a statement that was like, not here, no.
The news of this arrest in our quiet community is just as shocking to us as the rest of you.
She didn't
While
live
we
here.
support law enforcement, we really have no other knowledge of the situation.
Yeah, we love a cop. We don't want to piss the cops off, but we did just want to say she didn't live here. And he just got pulled over here, which actually isn't the case. I do think the cops were using that location to carry out this operation.
I mean, I feel bad for them, right?
I do too, because their name is being reported in the headline, and they're probably like, "Listen, hey, we're just a trailer park.
There
We've
were
got
no
issues."
actual hookers here. That's
right.
the point.
I think, and I don't know that they can say that confidently. But either way, they did, and they took issue with it. The pseudonym Jed York chose was Joe, which, to me, is like, that's somebody who's always wished his name was just Joe and was like, I'll just go by Joe York so they can't Google it, you know?
Oh,
It's
if you
not
own
like
the
he was-
49ers
Right,
and the
well-
greatest quarterback in the history of your team is Joe Montana, like that's a
You
nod
think
to
that's
the
why?
franchise.
You think that's why he chose it? You think he was?
I think if
named
you
after
own the
Joe
49ers,
Montana?
you're not picking Joe accidentally.
I would love if it was Joe Montana. I would love if his pseudonym was fully Joe Montana, which would then cause more of like people to know who he is, which would be a very stupid pseudonym. But I was hoping for like a Carlos Danger type thing. Just going by Joe doesn't really do anything for me. It's
Michael
not
Vick's
my
Ron
favorite.
Mexico.
Yeah, it's not my favorite of the details that have emerged. We will get to my favorite of the details that have emerged. And so basically, the ad was posted by an undercover officer posing as a woman on a known prostitution website. Craigslist? What website are they referring? Backpages? Is Backpages still a thing? What website are they referring to?
I'm glad you can't make eye contact with any one of the three of us right now. I don't know. Who you're
I'm making eye
asking. I don't
contact
know.
with all three of you. If it's a known thing, I think
Looking
they
at the
could.
monitor. No,
you
they didn't.
name
No one.
the fucking trailer park.
No one named the website.
And was there an actual woman involved, or was it just he showed up for the sex? Is this like a To Catch a Predator situation where he showed up and was greeted by cops who said, "Why don't you have a seat?"
I don't think there was. Yeah, I don't think there was an actual like undercover officer. I think when he showed up, the police just like cornered him and they rang his phone, the number they had that he had texted the ad from, and it rang on his person, and that's when they had confirmation to make the arrest.
Okay, so he
didn't even put it on silent.
So he was showing up at 9 a.m. to have the sex.
Yes.
Because when I first when the
sex.
Because when the story first came out, I went like, "Oh, he slept over." He slept over, and they caught him the next day because we didn't know yet that he was responding to a Sting ad. What the fuck was he doing emailing 3 times at 9 a.m. to go and what? Does he wake up at 4 and by 9 he's like, "Look, I had an early breakfast. I'm ready to I'm hungry. I'm ready to go."
So it was twice. I believe it was twice Saturday, and then Sunday was when twice, and they didn't answer, and then Sunday he went back to it again at 9 a.m.
Okay, and then the other background details that we've discovered: he's going through a divorce. Was that a month ago he filed for divorce, or a couple weeks ago? It's within the amount of time
June 30th.
You could see this being not unrelated, right? I'm just trying to give the guy a little grace for the fact that, like, I don't know, loneliness is loneliness, and if he wasn't trying to now the most interesting detail for me is that the ad was asking 160, and all the details after the exchange, whatever had to happen for the cops to have enough to arrest him on the charge, is citing 140. That the money that he was offering was 140. Did he haggle this woman? Did he haggle the price?
So
What?
I think the least comfortable detail to me was that from the San Francisco Chronicle, the $20 discrepancy comes from the Chronicle. I'll just read directly from the Chronicle here. York asked how much the female charged for 1 hour and was advised that full service sexual activity was $160, with unprotected sex being $20 more.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Wait. So then wasn't it $20 less the number?
Well, I think
that
it would have been
reported?
140 up to 160. So he was paying the $20 surcharge.
Never mind. It's not my favorite detail anymore. I thought it was funny that a rich guy was showing up and going, I hear 160, but I'd like to offer 140. I don't think, given where we are, I'd like it.
I need
the
extra 20 to take my Uber back home.
Yeah, I'll cover and I'll tip. But can we get it down to 140? But this is less fun. He wanted to do it raw. So now we just sit with this, I guess. He served his 2 one-day they really brought the hammer down on him. He served his 2 one-day sentences concurrently. He's out. And what comes of this? Is there a morality clause to owning the team? Somebody called in. I'm sorry I keep saying this, but we did get very interesting callers today on the radio show. And somebody called in and said that his mother, they were involved in something like pushing somebody out of ownership because of a violation of a morality clause. But then how interesting that they now won't be doing that same thing, I imagine, to their son who has gotten the team. And so there is sort of that interesting wrinkle to it. But I don't know. At the end of the day, it's like this is embarrassing for him, right? It's pretty embarrassing. And everybody knows it now. So I don't know what happens. What do we wait for here next? An injunction, a restraining order? What goes on now? Nothing.
I mean, he's really rich, so probably nothing.
Oh, cool. Yeah, sick. Great. So that's Jed York. That's the update on Jed York.
Okay.
Should we talk about the Padres owners while we're doing owners? The Padres have new ownership. As part of an energetic news conference that signaled a new era for the San Diego Padres, co-owners Jose E. Feliciano and Kwanzaa Jones called their 40% plus purchase of the franchise a family investment and vowed to spend ambitiously and judiciously. Feliciano and Jones, a husband and wife duo with ties to a private equity firm and the English Premier League, agreed to purchase the Padres for a record $3.9 billion valuation around the middle of April and were unanimously approved by Major League Baseball's 29 other owners last Monday. And so we saw them do their introductory press conference, right, this past week, earlier this week. We have some clips from it. Let's take a listen to first Jose Feliciano. Let's listen to that one first.
We cannot promise that we're going to win. We hope that we're going to win. But we can promise that, you're going to have our full dedication, engagement to try to make that happen.
And I love that. I love new ownership going like, listen, I don't want to make any crazy promises. I just want you to know we are going to do our best to try to put a winning. But I've heard that before. I've heard that plenty of times before. I've definitely heard that from teams that don't try their best to put a winning team out on the field. So let's now hear kind of the same, different answer, same question from his wife. Let's hear what she had to say.
We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win and win it all. We hope it's sooner rather than later.
Listen.
And I love that.
And I love that. People were weird about this. I get it. It is an energy you're not used to seeing in the baseball space, but in the ownership position. I understand it being unfamiliar. You can even hear in the room the way when she goes, "We're gonna win it all." You see them go like, "What is that? What?" Like, is it okay to laugh at this? What do we do with this? But that being said, like, do you love what's been happening in the ownership space otherwise? Why not just accept new, excited energy? What is the harm in the owner going like, let's go. I want to win it all. I want to win it all, and I want to win it all right now. Again, I'm too online, and I think sometimes, especially now, the reaction to stuff like this colors my opinion of it, whereas before I would have just had an opinion. Now I feel like I need to take a stand for her because of the way it's being discussed online. But I wonder, Brady, you've been entrenched in baseball for so long, what your reaction to seeing this clip was.
I've never seen a new ownership walk into a clubhouse like she did. The two of them did. And Kwanzaa Jones just walking up and getting like a full-on embrace and laughing with like Fernando Tatis. And you realize, like, if you're a ball player of color, you don't ever see this, despite the fact of how much of the league looks like you, but suddenly you have a Latino man, you have a black woman, you have like these two prominent figures that they're going to run this whole damn thing. And she walks in there like she actually has a passion for this, which is so refreshing. I mean, I know he comes from private equity. This is their purchase. It's not the private equity firm's purchase.
Oh, that's an important distinction, I think.
Yeah, because their ownership in Chelsea is via the private equity firm. Okay. That is like the corporation owning it. This is just the two of them.
Just a passion project on the side.
Kind of. $3.9 billion valuation passion project. They really look like they love it, and they want to be a part of it, and they want to see the success, and it's a fresh, vision. It's just a fresh energy that we don't often get. So many ownerships look exactly the same, and feel exactly the same.
If I was a Padres fan, I'd be excited.
Yeah, it's like, at least it's different. Let's try this. Yeah. Let's see what goes. Let's see how this goes. I will say now, this is separate. All that done, beautiful little bow. We're happy. We love it. We love the change in energy. Separate. I do fear. I heard her twice do you're the Padres, I'm su madre. And you remember when they were promoting Wicked, and what's her name was like, Wicked Witch, flip it upside down.
Oh, yeah.
And she did that in every single interview, and they made like a supercut. Same thing with, was it Lady Gaga when she was doing...
when she's like,
A Star is Born.
Yeah, and she was just like,
she's
and
like, you
he
can
was the
in
one.
a room full of people, all you need is one to believe in you. And then she
Bradley
goes and does
Cooper,
that on another show. And you just go like, liked the soundbite of the Padres, I'm su madre. And we don't want to say that too many times, because then they're going to make fun of you. They're going to make a supercut of the amount of times you've said it in a different outfit. And we're going to laugh at you. We're going to laugh at you with love, but we are going to laugh at you. So that, again, is separate. I like the energy that she brings. And I also will say, if previously to this you had told me that an owner of a team was named Kwanzaa Jones, I would go, were they trying to get a prostitute? That sounds like the type of alias I was expecting someone to use when booking on a Craigslist. We still haven't narrowed it down. An ad to try to engage in sex work.
I learned in researching this, and this is probably normal to other people, but so Feliciano is part of the consortium that owns
you got
Chelsea.
It. Yeah.
Also part of that consortium is Mark Walter.
Yeah, we knew that.
So the Padres owner and the Dodgers owner
are together
are
on something.
business partners on an English soccer club.
I do believe Mark Walter is getting out of that now, that whether or not that's by choice. I think he is trying to make that liquid pretty quickly. I think he needs that cash. And so I don't think that conflict of interest we just discovered is actually going to make much of a difference because, again, I think Mark Walter is going through it, I think is the clinical term. I think he's really in the shit right now. Did you watch Jeff Passan's
Yeah.
People were like, hey, Jeff Passan, are you going to say something? And then he puts out this like well-researched hour-long thing about how insurance, what's happening with all of it. And people were like, too little, too late. I'm like, what the fuck do you want? What do you want from people? Information is hard to come by right now. And he took his time with it and presented it to us. So whatever. God, everything's a mess.
Are you saying that the Walter Cup is an inside job?
Yeah, it does feel like he was like, get the cup stolen. Let's get some distraction.
What if the
We got
person who
insurance money
stole
on that.
it was Walter, who gave us the bobbleheads?
Whoa.
And he was
Whoa.
like,
I didn't even think about his name
he was
being
like, you
Walter.
know what? I want that damn cup. It's mine.
That's a good
How
point.
deep does this
Got
go?
some
Sent us 2 cups and then stole one.
Yeah, exactly.
From the champions. Okay, I saw 3 NWSL stories I wanted to mention really quickly that are all related to people coming and going and such. You'll see their connection in a moment. Number 1, Sydney Leroux. Did everybody see this? I love Sydney Leroux. I have such a soft spot. She's just the coolest.
think I know her.
Isabella, you would have loved her, and you can still love her, but she's been away from the game for a while. She has been away from the game for 654 days, and she made her official return to the pitch last Sunday for Angel City. She is the club's 4th all-time leading scorer. She's 36 years old. She stepped away one day before their 2025 season opener to focus on her mental health, and she had not returned. In November, she disclosed she was diagnosed with anorexia. She entered as a late substitute in last Sunday's 1-1 draw against the Washington Spirit. Amazing to see her back. The reception that she got when she stepped back out in the field genuinely made me cry. She is a triumphant woman. She's a powerful woman, and she's been through a lot. And so shout out to Sydney Leroux. We love you, and welcome back. Tobin Heath. Did anybody see this? Tobin Heath signed a 1-day contract to retire as a member of the Portland Thorns. They honored her in a pre-match ceremony ahead of their match on Saturday. She is Portland's all-time regular season assist leader with 24. She helped the club win 2 NWSL championships in 2013 and in 2017, and the 2016 NWSL Shield. She fucking rules, Isabella. You also would have been
I know her.
Yeah.
I actually, she was a player because she was on Gotham, right?
She
Or
was
no?
she was on Portland.
Oh.
Where was she before Portland?
She was on. I forgot who was playing then. I was watching a game, like the one few times I was watching an NWSL game, and I remember identifying her and being like, "Ooh, I really like her."
Yeah, she's cool. She's cool, and she's got a great podcast. Do they still have that podcast? I assume.
I don't know.
She's just the best. Tobin is the best, and everybody loves her. And shout out Tobin, what a career. We love you. And then this last one, this one's a little confusing. Okay, this one's a little bit of me just going, keep an eye on this. I don't know what's going on here. But Esther, who is, she was on Gotham.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Esther was on Gotham. She's a Spanish forward. In July, she and Gotham mutually parted ways. I think what Gotham said is that she needed to, she's the team's leading scorer when they parted ways. And what the official messaging was that she needed to take some time away, step away from the team, and handle a personal matter. And that she needed to, it was specifically, she needed to be closer to her family in Spain and deal with a personal matter. She said, Gotham FC will always hold a very special place in my heart. From the moment I arrived, I felt something unique about this club. I'm grateful for each and every moment shared with my teammates, coaches, every single member of the club. Gotham said, we wish Esther and her family all the best as they return home to Spain. Then on Sunday, it was announced that she had signed with a team in the Saudi Women's Premier League. And because it was a mutual parting between Gotham and the player, they get nothing for that. It wasn't like Isabella. Usually there's something like a transfer fee where if like she's going to go to another team, the team will have to pay the team for her rights to get her, and they at least get something out of the deal rather than just losing their leading scorer to a team for nothing. And so we don't know for sure if she left. We don't know what is going on there, but what it certainly is kind of scary, and people are starting to wonder if she was. The Saudi League is spending money. They've got money to spend. We've seen this across a lot of sports. By the way, shout out Liv, which I think is laying everybody off. That didn't work, but they're investing in women's soccer, some could say ironically, and probably spending a lot of money. Esther is a player who is well-renowned and still has it, but is in the later years of her career. And so it's possible that she's getting a lot more money to play on this Saudi team. Now, it just is an interesting situation that she left for personal reasons. The team seemed to honor that without being too like, well, we have your rights and this and that. And then to find out that she had signed with another team, it's just something's going on and we're keeping an eye on it. And I thought it was worth sharing. Kind of interesting.
And there's the extra angle of it.
Yes. Would you go ahead?
All right. Esther is out.
She's married. She has a wife and a child.
Child.
Yes. And
that is not legal in Saudi Arabia. So it is, I don't know, puzzling, disappointing. I don't know. It's her personal choice. So I don't even know who I am to judge it. But to take that contract and play in Saudi Arabia, Outsports reported that she has been deleting images of her and her wife from her Instagram page before she goes to Saudi Arabia. Like, it's very, is sad the right word?
Yeah,
it's
I
her
think so.
choice to make, but it is
course.
sad to see from third party.
And until we hear from her, we don't know why she made it. We don't know what the circumstances were. All we know is that Gotham honored her having to leave for personal reasons, and then this is the next thing we find out, and that is not common. It is not common for someone to leave a team without any fanfare and then end up somewhere else, controversial or not, even if it wasn't necessarily the Saudi League. This is not something we're used to seeing. And then, of course, the added angle of gay rights in Saudi Arabia. It certainly, there's more to come from this, I'm sure, but an interesting story. This also says, speaking of Gotham, and something about Hello Kitty. What is this? We got an email?
So many of our listeners wrote to us. I'm not even going to pick one. So many people wrote in. The Gotham FC has announced that Hello Kitty Day will take place at Sports Illustrated Stadium on Sunday, October 4th. And they have invited Isabella. And sorry, but most of them just said we're inviting Isabella.
Just to pause really quickly.
Oh yeah, hold on.
Who they invited us, or they just invited Isabella?
There may be one of them that said all of us, but there was the invitation.
It was either all of us or just Isabella.
Cloud9, the Gotham FC supporters, invited Isabella specifically to lead their pregame tailgate.
I picked you over. I betrayed my. Let me calm down. This isn't about me. I need to get control of my emotions. Isabella, did you want to go to the game with all your new friends?
I'm gonna be traveling.
Oh, she's busy.
God
She's
damn
busy.
it.
I'm in town, but I think I just got plans. Unfortunately, I'm busy now. I won't be there.
But if you want to send some merch,
yeah, because we certainly need more Hello Kitty stuff.
I have way too much Hello Kitty on my fucking TV
Did
console.
you see the little Hello Kitty with the bat behind me, the little bobblehead?
So cute.
Shout out Walter, not of Walter Cup fame, the other one. Shout out the other one. Okay, and then this is really the story we wanted to get to now that we're an hour in, but I'm not skipping it. Tony Gonzalez has announced he's got a new podcast coming out. And you might be going, Katie, who cares? Everybody's got a podcast. There's a million podcasts. What could possibly make Tony Gonzalez's podcast worth mentioning on your esteemed future award-winning podcast? And I will say, trust me. Hall of Fame tight end and Prime Video NFL analyst Tony Gonzalez announced this week he and his wife are launching a new podcast, No Safe Words, with October and Tony Gonzalez.
Okay.
He's married to a person named October? I didn't know that. I feel like surely this would have come up before.
He is. They had a commitment ceremony in 2007, but are technically not legally married.
2007? Wasn't he still with...
No, I think Lauren Sanchez was before that because their son's grown.
And we'll
Their son's,
remind
like,
you,
grown.
if
That's how I know
we'll remind
Tony
you,
Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez was married to Lauren Sanchez, who is now the wife of Jeff Bezos, and
Yes.
looks kind of similar to she did when they were married. I guess. No safe words
Astronaut.
with October and Tony Gonzalez, which I guess does make him Mr. October, if you think about it.
Yeah.
He can lay claim to the nickname if he really wanted to. No safe words is fucking insane. Here's the pitch. We get real about marriage, parenthood, sex, divorce, and all the nitty-gritty stuff we all think about but just don't say out loud. Now, Tony, I know you're trying to sell a podcast. I need you to come. I need you to follow up on. I need that to be true. I'm going to hold you to that. If you're telling me you're going to get into the nitty gritty, all the no safe words, all the stuff people wish other people would talk about. Like, I want every week to be able to play a clip of Tony talking about difficulties experienced while trying to perform anal. I want, he better fucking get into it. Don't tell me this shit's going to be nitty gritty. Don't call it no safe words. And then be like, so we hold hands. You better be spilling in this. You can't just go to get me to listen, and then when I listen, you guys are going to be like, yeah. A lot of couples don't talk about these things because they're afraid, but we've learned that being completely honest with each other actually makes things so much easier. We don't have all the answers, though, and we're still learning new things about communication every day. Well, we look forward to learning that with you as we listen to you communicate to us professionally on a podcast supported by ads.
Sounds like they just want to go to couples therapy.
It does kind of just sound like they want to...
That's totally fine.
And which is also what they're right that, you having these conversations with your partner are important. Having an open line of communication about anything, sex stuff, anything is crucial to a successful, healthy relationship. Whether you got to put that on wax
I
and
don't know
release
if I
it
need
with
to
ad
hear it.
breaks, that I don't know if anybody would say is part
Hey
of the
guys,
healthy
buy
relationship.
no safe words merch.
Right,
Coming up.
I just don't know if me and Dan talking about having the open line of communication on mic is something that it's not like the same as encouraging healthy communication around sex.
Added counterpoint, there is also no more useful communication than having a safe word.
Yes.
That shit exists on purpose.
Right.
I am worried about Tony's safety.
Wait, for him? I'm worried
Either
about her.
one?
Yeah, I just no safe words is like we couldn't possibly be accidentally harmful to each other, which is called hubris, and it's what ended a lot of Greek tragedies. Is you don't have you go, well, not me. The gods will never smite me down. There's no. It's safe words exist for safety, and if you're talking about keeping lines of communication open in your relationship, but you brand it as there's nothing she can say to get me to stop, is fucking nuts.
I worry about just Tony just screaming Oklahoma over and over, and her being like, that means nothing.
Yeah. Again, I don't know why you keep putting it in that lens, but I guess it is possible that it's Tony who's begging for his life in the situation. So I guess we will be hearing about it soon. You can get it wherever you get your podcast. Did they give us a release date?
September 1st.
Okay, and is this with a company? Is this an Odyssey? Is that still a company still? Is this who's this with? Do we know?
I mean, can I not give them free ads
No,
here?
yeah, sure, I guess.
we go.
Give everybody else free ads on this podcast. Okay, what do you think? We take a break? Let's take a break and then we'll come back. Look, I know it's silly and I know I talked about this on my radio show if you happen to have listened to that, but just in case you haven't, this is Perfect Casuals content. I do want to talk about the merch drop, the big merch drop of the off season, which is the Disney X NFL collab. If you haven't seen it, they released merch for all 32 teams, pairing them up with a Disney character that is meant to exemplify that fan base, that team. It's a perfect pairing. Some of them make perfect sense. Some of them make no sense. And some of them, if they make sense the way I think they do, are hilarious by Disney. So let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do that, and then we'll be joined by the fantasy footballers who are going to help us with our draft. And then we do still have to get to the last few members of our fantasy football draft. So I'll just talk a lot faster. It's Casuals. We'll be right back. Okay, hi, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Oh, thanks. Before we get to the fantasy footballers, who are going to help us with just some light draft strategy, so that if you're new to a fantasy football draft, it's enough to help you execute and to help Isabella execute even better and grow, because she's always a student. She always wears a shirt that says always a student. She's not wearing it today, but spiritually I know she's still doing it in there. Before we get to that, we've got an NFL merch drop that we had to highlight because it's unique. It's interesting. It's got a hook. NFL X Disney. These are two huge IP houses that just have these wonderful brands internationally recognized by all ages and genres, et cetera, et cetera. And so they took all the teams and paired them with a Disney character. Now, overarching note, I know that Disney now includes Star Wars. I know that Star Wars falls under the Disney umbrella.
Yeah.
And there are a couple instances in here where they use a Star Wars character and it makes such great sense. I'm looking at you, Atlanta Falcons, that I don't mind. Right, that the Falcons got the Millennium Falcon. That being said...
Falcon.
Oh, okay.
Someone was going to yell at you somewhere for it. Falcon.
It's the Millennium Falcon. Would you like me to call them the Atlanta Falcons?
Well, now, yeah.
Anyway...
Whatever, the Millennium Falcon is not even a bird.
That's right. That's right. Fight him, Isabella, while I handle this. And so I get it that Star Wars is Disney, but I was kind of hoping, it's kind of nuts there's no Disney princess and there is Star Wars stuff. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But I would have liked to see a little bit more straight Disney. Now, some of these do go straight Disney. Maybe the funniest one of all of them is the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders got Ham from Toy Story. The pig... And the reason it's funny is because look up the merch. It says Washington Commanders, and then there's just this big round pig head with eye black on. Now, there is a reason for the connection, Brady, I've had since yelled at me in my mentions.
The offensive line was called the Hogs, and the Hogettes were the fan base that would dress in drag as pigs in house dresses. So there is a pig connotation that when I say it out loud in the simplest terms, doesn't make a lick of sense.
No, it's stupid.
And Tuddy, right? Is that his name?
Oh,
Tuddy.
Yeah, Tuddy.
Tuddy, the mascot, is
Isabella
a hog.
knowing the Commanders mascot.
Duh.
Crazy. The Cowboys got Woody from Toy Story. That makes perfect sense to me.
They
Jesse,
went hard on Toy Story.
Yeah, Jesse from Toy Story is also, well, because isn't there a newer one is
Yeah.
out, so maybe they're trying to. Jesse, the girl cowboy, is with, I guess cowgirl Katie would be the word. Not the girl cowboy. Is got paired with the Texans.
Cool.
And Sticky Pete for the 49ers.
Yeah, which Dan, my fiance, did not recognize. He goes, the 49ers didn't get one. They just did a cartoon version of like our mascot. And I was like, yeah, that one's almost too on the nose. It's so much like, it's a prospector. Stinky Pete is a prospector. He was the bad guy in Toy Story 2. Which I don't remember Toy Story 2. I just remember being scarred
good.
by Toy Story 3. But the bad guy in Toy Story 2 is this like prospector, which is exactly what the Niners are. And so it's close enough that Dan didn't even notice that it was a Disney character. I like the Ravens got Maleficent. I thought that was kind of cool because
Ooh,
Maleficent
yeah.
has a raven. The Jets got Buzz Lightyear. That makes enough sense to me. That's fine. The Patriots got Captain America. Look, I know I should be going like, hell yeah, that's awesome. But it seems too like obvious. I know that's a cool one to have. And I actually don't even have a suggestion for what I'd rather the Patriots have. But I just was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, I do.
Oh.
I think it should be Mrs. Pot.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
her name?
Yes. Yeah.
From Beauty
Mrs.
and the
Potts,
Beast?
Mrs. Potts.
Mrs. Potts,
Mrs. Potts and Chip. The
Because
little.
Boston Tea Party
Yeah.
and the tea.
It's kind of cute.
Wasn't it
I was
kinda
going to
cute?
go
That's
Gaston.
a really good idea. Why would you go with Gaston?
Just vibes.
Oh, 'cause
Ew.
you're the bad guy.
You think-
Yeah.
The Patriots have Gaston vibes?
I'm sorry, did that hit too close to home?
I don't know. I guess maybe they do. I don't know. To Gaston. Look, Gaston comes out holding a puppy. What do you mean, guys? I'm so chill and everybody loves me. Look how soft and sweet and cute I am. Other ones that stood out. Now, the Titans got Thanos. And I get that we're pushing up the glasses and saying Thanos is a Titan. Sure. But I don't know. They get that they're not that powerful. You know? They're really not that powerful. And that's like a big bad, you know? back when Marvel would give us the backstory to build up a bad guy, unlike what they're doing with this new movie, which is like, it's going to be crazy, but you've never met this bad guy before in previous films. And the Jaguars, they went with Pepita from Coco, which is a very cool character in Coco, but it's not translating on the merch. The merch makes it look like a boring cat. It does not come through the whimsy of Pepita, I think. And then Horace Horsecollar for the Colts, I feel kind of bad about because...
Oh, is that the one that's like old Disney?
Horace Horsecollar looks like it's from Steamboat Willie. It looks like the kind of Mickey era that is like Creative Commons now, that anybody can use and doesn't even cost... There's no IP they can own anymore because it's existed for so long. So they got that guy, which I guess is one of Mickey's best friends, they say.
Between him and Pete, who was Mickey's enemy, like those two characters are so old and from such an era of Disney where you look at him and you're like, I'm pretty sure that's racist in some way.
Wait, is Pete
It
old?
just has
I
to
thought
be.
Pete was from the Goofy movie.
No, Pete goes back to like Pete was the antagonist in like Three Musketeers.
So it was
and
definitely
way back.
probably some undertone. The Steelers got Pete, by the way, and we'll leave that there. The Seahawks getting the seagulls from Finding Nemo is very
Yeah, I like that one.
Perfect.
Mine.
Coach Mike.
Mike. The Rams got Sully from Monsters Inc., which is like, yeah, I guess he's got horns. You know? I guess he's got horns, so that's enough of a...
And the blue.
Colors match.
The colors match. The Cardinals got Jafar. I made the argument they should get Iago, but Brady's telling me some of the merch does just have Iago on it.
Yeah, some of it's just Iago.
So that's fine. That's fair, I think. That one makes a little bit of sense. I saw Packers fans upset that they got Chewbacca. I don't think they like that. They were hoping for Remy or the mouse from Ratatouille.
He seems more of a cheese enthusiast. I don't see the Chewbacca tie at all.
The most,
Chewbacca-
Chewbacca does feel spiritually like he'd root for Green Bay. I don't know. It just feels
Very
like...
famously from Kashyyyk, not Wisconsin.
Sure. Brady just wants you to know he is the dork he thought that he was. He's set out to prove it to you today in the Millennium Falcon.
Also, that's the one that is not an animate object. Like, if you're the Falcons, you got a vehicle.
Yeah,
You
but
did
it's
not
a
even get
cool
character.
fucking vehicle. It's a cool vehicle, and it's the name of your team, so it's like it makes for cool merch. The Dolphins getting King Triton. Correct me if I'm wrong. King Triton didn't really do shit.
Yeah, like he's only there for like a second.
He's not really the big part of the story. I'd almost rather them be Ursula. I'd almost rather them be like, if you're not going to give it to the Little Mermaid, which I would have. King Triton is like, okay.
You could rock Ursula merchandise for that would go hard.
Hell
an
yeah.
Ursula t-shirt.
Yeah, it absolutely would. The Browns got Pluto. That's fine, I guess, because the dog pound, et cetera, et cetera. Somebody said they should have gotten Goofy.
Pepe Le Pew.
It's like Goofy, Pepe Le Pew. Jesus fucking Christ. Pepe Le Pew, what a little creep, honestly. What an absolute little creep.
I'm confident we're never hearing from him again.
Pepe Le Pew?
Yeah,
Or
Disney's burying
Deshaun
that one
Watson.
hard.
Sorry, I didn't know who we were talking because I'd love to never hear from him again. There's the Bills got Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Isabella, if I remember correctly, you didn't like this?
No, it
Yeah.
just feels like just because it's hairy animal. That's what they're trying to pick.
I think he has horns. I think it kind of looks like a buffalo. He looks buffalo-esque for sure. The way he's got like the big, head or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah.
I prefer something that's like more snowy themed. Like Frozen or something.
Yeah, no Frozen in here.
Yeah, why
No,
not?
like where was Olaf? Where's Sven the reindeer? Lady who just watched Frozen for the first time.
I still have never seen
I
it.
just saw it for the first time. It's actually pretty good. People are right.
Yeah, okay.
People are right. It's actually pretty good.
What are the bears?
The bears, thank you for asking, are Baloo from the Jungle Book.
Oh, the big bear.
Yeah, the bare necessities. What do you think about that? Does that
I
help
mean,
at
it
all?
makes total sense, and I love that, and it makes me kind of like them a little more.
Okay, where are we
Balloon
at
merch.
on that? Are we feeling like going into the season we're ready to be fans of the...
I think so, yeah.
Oh.
But can I just have one clarifying question?
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty much leaning towards rooting for the I was gonna say Bills. No. Rooting for the Bears this season. But can I have like a backup team? Not in terms of like like say if the Bears are gone, or like say another team that maybe is in another division that I'm not like actively rooting for, but like I keep an eye on in the distance, where
Absolutely.
I'm like, oh, I like them.
I would never stop you from. You can root in your mind for 16 teams. You can keep tabs on all of the teams. I just want to start you down the road of potential commitment to one. And I'd like to be able to ask you your thoughts on that week's something game. And so I feel like, should we say that for this season, that would be the Chicago. I feel like I'm asking a girl on a date for the first time. Would you maybe want to spend this season with the Chicago Bears?
I think I might.
Oh my God!
It does sound like she wants to have an open relationship, though.
Okay,
yeah,
and
like
that's
I kind
fine.
of want to.
Hey,
I kind of want to.
polyamory. I'm not it, but I'm aware of it, and I don't judge anybody's.
But the
as
Bears,
long
you
as
would be
it's-
my primary, okay? And I would just maybe.
She's ranking them. I don't know if that's how they do in polyamorous relationships. I don't know if it's encouraged to go, now listen, number one with a bullet, Chicago Bears. But if they're busy or not answering the phone, I would like to reserve the right to call the Jets, which is very funny. I said who the Jets are. The Jets are the, are what's his face? Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear.
Who are the Giants?
Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay. Sure. I mean, that's their running back, isn't it? I didn't. So I get
Wait,
it.
who?
Cam Scatterbo. I
Scatterbo's
just feel like Wreck-It
Spirit
Ralph.
Animal.
I don't know a lot, but didn't he just like run into stuff? Isn't that the video game characters?
Yeah, his video
And
game was
Jackson
like
Dutt's not
basically
too far away from that.
Donkey Kong
right.
just breaking things.
It's kind of just like slamming your head into stuff. So I do think it does fit. Oh wait, last one that we have to highlight. Did you see the Chiefs got the big bad wolf? Now, for anybody who doesn't know, and that might be a lot of people because why would you? The Chiefs used to have a super fan who would go to every game. There's a lot of these across the league, Isabella. If you were to have stumbled and fallen and become a Jets fan, you would be familiar with, what's his name, Fireman Ed? Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
That fan who like he's always at the games. He leads like a cheer. A lot of these fan bases have like a guy who's been a fan for a long time, who's like an institution in the crowd. I think the Vikings at least used to have one of them. I think he might have stopped because they weren't going to pay him. I have vague memory of all of this. There was a fan of the Chiefs who would dress up like a wolf, and he was like known within the fan base as
I'm seeing him.
a Chiefs. Okay, and then he got arrested.
Why doesn't he come to games anymore?
And then he got arrested, and is he in jail?
Yes.
It
He, like,
says wolf
robbed a-
costumed Kansas City Chiefs superfan sentenced for robbing nearly $1 million from banks. And was he in the suit when he did it?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so, but now, yes. In my mind, yes. It's just like I guess it's possible Disney wasn't aware, or it's funnier if they are aware and they gave him the big bad wolf. I don't know, man. I just think I was like, wait. I thought I was getting. I had to like find the original press release to confirm that it wasn't just somebody fucking with me that they got the big bad wolf. What did you say, Chris?
There's a documentary film about him and his doubled life.
Yeah.
It's called Chiefsaholic, a wolf in Chiefs clothing.
Oh yeah. No, he's real.
Oh, Wolf and Chiefs clothing is really good. You have to, once you come up with that, you go, well, now we got to make the documentary. So, unfortunately, we backed ourselves into that one. I also think the Chargers, it was a real miss. Why didn't we just go with Lightning McQueen? Why'd we go with Hercules and Pegasus, which is Hercules's horse?
It feels like we got pigeonholed into like for IP rights purposes, like 60% of the Disney catalog here.
Right, and
There's
I just
no
would
reason
like
for them
them
to have to do like
I would
5
like them to
characters
be
in one
more
movie.
transparent about that. I would like to be more transparent about why we got a lot of Toy Story, a lot of Star Wars.
And a lot of like side characters too.
Right. I like why no Mickey? Why no Goofy? Why none of the big names?
One female character seems a little strange.
Maleficent?
Oh, 2, I guess counting Maleficent. I was looking at Jesse with the Texans.
And that's it, right? It's just
Yeah.
I don't know Pepita's gender. I did
look
watch
it up.
Coco.
Non-binary, apparently.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's and I bet at least one of the Nemo seagulls is a girl. They got to be.
Fair.
So we got to leave room for that. But yeah, that's the Eagles getting Dr. Doom also just feels like them going, please don't be mad at us. You get the cool big bad. You get the big bad. You're the scary big bad, and leave us alone. It's green. So that's that. And then also, I think Off-Season just announced they used a bunch of WAGs. Off-Season, of course, is Christian Juszczyk's fashion brand that is doing a bunch of wonderful stuff for women's fashion, for fans of NFL teams that happen to be women. For a while there, we were stuck in the pink crop doldrums where everything was like not speaking to a wide swath of types of female fan. She's releasing her collection for this year. She got a bunch of the wives. It's how I learned Jahmyr Gibbs has an incredibly beautiful girlfriend. I think girlfriend, maybe wife. Maybe they just got married. Either way, that drop is coming soon. I think that comes next week. So if you're a woman looking for cool clothes around your I know we mentioned the Abercrombie one last episode and how the Lions got the L with the white flag, but the off-season drop is coming in a couple days. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and be sure to scoop up some Disney X NFL merch if any of these move you and speak to you.
Oh, also, just because I happened to see it while I was online shopping on Aerie, Aerie has a new collection right now where they're collaborating with, it's the same thing but with college teams. So they have like a Texas Tech sports bra, and they have like an LSU running short.
Nice.
So, in case
this may seem like nothing to you, dear listener, especially if you happen to be a man or somebody who sports merch has always catered to. But as a woman who's been in the trenches for a while and has seen some swings at merch, and sometimes Erin Andrews had a nice collection that she had for a while. I think she may still have. There have been, I'm not saying that this is the first time, but we certainly seem to be at a point in league merch where finally they're making stuff that's like on trend and cute in a way that isn't just small and pink. Cute in its various different ways that it can be. So we're eating good if you're into sports and you want merch.
Abercrombie has a Chicago's Bears hoodie and
Nice.
tank top in case I may want it.
Do you like it? Make sure it's not sold out, because those things sell out pretty quickly for the popular fan bases.
I do like it. It is cute.
Isabella,
It's
we
not
can't even
sold
hear
out.
you. Now you're just shopping.
I'm sorry.
No, she's busy. Please leave her space for this. Okay, so now from the fantasy world of Disney to the world of fantasy. You love that. You love that. What a transition. We're going to talk to our guest today. We have the hosts of the #1 fantasy football podcast, The Fantasy Footballers. You can catch them on SiriusXM. You can also watch their podcast on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. They are going to help us get you or a casual or anybody that's remember last year for Isabella to get her ready for the draft, we gave her like a quick crash course. This is kind of that from them. The three of them have put their heads together to help us solve some questions that if you're listening to this and it's your first time going into a draft, or maybe it's your third time, or maybe you just want a little bit of advice, the Fantasy Footballers are here to help you with that. They're joining us via satellite. Is that what we say? They're joining us over Zoom in just a little bit. And if you're looking for resources during your draft for you to use, stuff you can print out, rankings and such to help guide you in your draft, the Fantasy Footballers offer a draft kit that's pretty comprehensive for you. It's called the Ultimate Draft Kit. It includes tier-based rankings, 100-plus player profiles, and other resources to help you win your league. You go to thefantasyfootballers.com and then you can get it there. Okay, we're joined now by the Fantasy Footballers. Thank you guys for being here. We've got Mike Wright, Jason Moore, Andy Holloway.
Thank you for having us.
It's where are you at in your drafting? You guys must be in how many leagues each? Like 15?
No, we have
trying to keep it tighter.
We've realized that less is more with the fantasy football. Like we try to keep it to our main leagues. A couple pop up.
Yeah, maybe 5 to 10. But if you have every
5 to 10
in every league, then you lose the the emotion.
You lose the oomph. But our main league, our most important league, which we call the League of Record, we draft on Labor Day every year.
Oh, nice. So not yet. So you haven't done it yet. So you are
Nope.
The prep has been pulled and you're just combing through what process? Yes. Are you like at the stage where you're identifying some late picks that are going to be the guys that you want? Where are you at in this?
Yeah, our stages never really go away because we don't go away in the off season. So we are just always ready at any moment to pull the trigger on a draft. But when it comes to our personal draft, this is the week before. We're a keeper league, so we're trading picks and
We're just
doing
praying
mock
for no
drafts.
injuries too. The
Yeah.
injuries are annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're ready to go.
Truly the worst part of the preseason, I think. I mean, it is meaningless football, but it's meaningful in the sense that you just are always losing somebody you drafted. That's why you got to wait. Labor Day is brilliant. That's the smartest way to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, the hardest part is you spend an off season talking about how a player could produce, and if they get hurt, you just never get to just see what happens. You don't know if you're right or wrong. It's just removed from the equation.
Which I guess is better than finding out you were wrong, you know?
That is true.
But it's not as good
silver
as
lining
being right. Yeah, exactly, which you've got to look for. We are about to embark on the drafting of our fantasy team for our podcast's fantasy league. I don't know if you guys have been given the context, but last year, Isabella, our producer, who is a sports newbie, we're trying to get her into sports. That's sort of the premise of the podcast. We gave her a crash course on what football is. We kind of told her, like, these are the main positions and this is what they do and here's how they accumulate points in fantasy sports. And then we gave her, here's the list of all the best ones that according to guys like you. And then we had her on our podcast draft the team for us with the limited scope of knowledge that she had. She sort of just took a swing and picked guys that she likes. And you'll never believe she won the league with the.
Okay, that doesn't do well for us.
Unless she was using our rankings, in which case
she probably was. You know what? Let's just say she was. Let's just go back and say she definitely was.
Christian McCaffrey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was Christian McCaffrey was that was my largest, strongest flag plant of the entire offseason. And if you drafted McCaffrey last year, you have like a 50%
your
chances of winning were very high.
I know he had and that's so funny because going into my draft, I was like, I don't know, Christian McCaffrey always scares me because it's just this injury question mark. And you're
scared to go to
exactly
church.
Right. Yeah, shit. All right. Fuck. You're exactly right. It is like you take the risk and it pays off. And boy, did it pay off for her. We're trying to accumulate knowledge for her to prepare for our upcoming draft. Now that she has set the tone, that she's like, look, I could win this whole thing. I don't want to overload her with information, but we do want to sort of help her and anybody who's listening to this podcast that's a more casual fan. We want to help them do well in their draft because I find that fantasy football helps people know everybody across the league. It does a really good job of getting you to be more aware of football. It has a number of other purposes as well. Like it makes me care more, tune in more, have a rooting interest that isn't like, necessarily gambling money. It just sort of makes me feel more involved and it made me more aware about players across the league. So I want to help casuals nail their draft. What would you say is like the most important thing to focus on for somebody who is just trying to get a good enough team that they can execute with in maybe their first or second fantasy football season?
My biggest tip that I live by personally is the tight end position is one where I think there are some elites that are really good picks. You've got the two big Brock Bowers and Trey McBride, the elite of the elite, and then you got a couple young guys that might do it. But the middle rounds, like if you're in rounds 5 through 8, there are so many good running backs and wide receivers there. But the tight ends that you're tempted to take because maybe I don't have a tight end yet. So it's like, oh, I need to fill my tight end role. The difference between all those guys from rounds 6 through undrafted are meaningless by comparison to the running backs or wide receivers that could hit in those rounds. So I don't take middle round tight ends.
I can piggyback on that. I think that part of the lesson there is that if you're a new player, sometimes you feel a pressure to just fill your starting roster first. Like, I got to draft my running backs, wide out, and then get a quarterback, then get a tight end. I think that's something a lot of newer players do. And really, you just want to take the best players available. And, when you're deciding and you're a new player, you want to have fun too. So take players that you like as long as they're going in the right range. But don't feel a pressure to fill that entire roster. You can get a tight end really late. You could take a quarterback really late. It doesn't, the popularity of the player doesn't always translate to fantasy, right? So you hear the headlines of all these big quarterbacks, but, there's a lot of them, and you only need 12 or 10 in a league. So, being patient and just taking the best players, not worrying about starting roster.
Yeah, and I'll follow up on quarterback's the most important position in all of professional sports. You don't have a quarterback, you do not succeed. It's different in fantasy football where a lot of new people come in like, well, I got to have the best quarterback. You learn the game of how points are actually scored and how close the quarterback position can be you'll have like Josh Allen will be elite as he always is, but after that it's like you don't have to force it. And it's more of a, the game is a market. It is like, it's stock market, it's supply, it's demand, it's economics. It's not as football-y as football is. It's more of a it's really nerdy actually when you get into the weeds of how the game actually functions.
How much, this is something that comes up for me still every time I draft. How much do you care about a bye week?
Not at all.
Pretty much none.
I mean,
Not at all.
I don't.
I do feel like that's how it used to be, like a major focal point in fantasy drafts 10, 15 years ago. But we pretty much ignore it. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, I don't even know if it's that much of a tiebreaker for me
It's
anymore.
not. I don't care at all. The only time I care about a bye week is in the middle of the season when I can take advantage of someone and trade a player who has their bye week yet to come for a player who has already passed their bye week, and then it's like, you didn't
you're
play your
buying an extra game at that point.
Yeah.
Right. Because the reason I ask for casuals, sometimes it can be distracting where if you go, oh no, I've drafted all wide, I got 6 great wide receivers and they're all by week 8. And then you're like, what am I going to do week 8? I will have no receivers to start. You guys are saying you would just not care about that and get the best player you can and then either deal them during the season or pick somebody, just go with whoever's hot on the wire?
The waiver wire, and then like the funny part is we all think that the season's going to go the way that we planned. The truth is, I think the number's like 24% of the top running backs last year played a full season. So you're going to get these built-in bye weeks called injuries that happen anyways. So you're going to need to like go to the waiver wire, pivot. You know, sometimes guys don't work out. So I think we don't factor it that much just because it is a week-to-week game throughout the season where, you know, just paying attention to what's happening out there, like you just can't set it and forget it.
Yeah, and I want my best chance at, if you're saying week 8, I want to be 7-0 going into week 8. I'm not worried about spreading out the bye weeks. I'll figure it out when I get there. Like week 8 in fantasy football is an eternity away from the draft. So just get the best team you possibly can.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about the waiver wire, this is something that, again, please keep in mind. She had barely operating knowledge of football. We were downloading a lot onto her at once.
Yeah.
When she got through the draft, I mean, I should tell you this. And Isabella, please don't be embarrassed. The first time that she went to set her lineup, and she wanted to move guys around. Rather than moving them to her bench, she dropped like 2 of her stars.
Okay.
We had to go into the league and go like, she didn't mean to do that. we're putting those back on her team. That's our fault. We didn't teach her which button to push. And she was like dropping guys she had just drafted who were like superstars. And so there was a bit of a learning curve. So keeping that in mind, when it came to what we call here the wavy wire, because that's as close as we've gotten to, we have not touched trying to explain the best ways to use that. So now with this being her second season, I feel like we can maybe start to like approach the topic of the waiver wire. Have you ever thought about how to break that down to a pure casual who does not understand the concept?
Yeah, I think it is. I think we can do that. But first, we need to understand what there are 2 different formats for waiver wire. There is a FAB system where you bid, every week.
It's your free agent budget.
Yeah, you have a free agent budget and you
This
bid
is
on
the one
players.
where you get a
I'm
position.
guessing it's not that one.
Hers is the you get like
yeah.
she's in second in the waiver wire or
Yep.
whatever based off of.
Yep. So in that case, I would say that what you do is you hold off. For me personally, I like to go hard on waivers in week 1. We have a lot of data that says that
You just want more weeks of a good player if you can find one.
Yeah, you get more weeks, obviously, if you get them in week 1. But also the players that hit in week 1 have a much higher statistical probability of being relevant than the guys that do something in week 4 and you pick them up in week 5. So I go strong in week 1. And after that point, the priority of your waivers, I'm going to be a little bit more sparse so that I don't burn my priority. Because basically in that system, what happens is whoever has picked the fewest or the last player, whoever has the highest priority in the list, they get first dibs at the player who everybody wants.
Yeah.
And so go hard in week 1, and then on waiver day, just make sure you really need that player to get them on when the day that the waivers
to
run. That would
use
be
a priority.
Yeah, to use a priority waiver.
Yeah, because at some point in the season, and every once in a while it's week 1, but frequently it's like week 8, week 9. That's when one of the superstar running backs suffers a season-ending injury and their backup is on the waiver wire. You want to be sitting at the top of the list for
So that you
a
can,
situation
when
like
everybody
that.
tries to get that guy, you want to
And
be the one
because those are the players that that take you to a championship.
Yeah.
Really, like if you have a good strong roster and everyone else is getting a little bit weaker, and then you get like a resupply of troops, that's what changes things.
Okay.
Yep. And I would just say also you can lean on resources to just tell you who's the top names that week. Whether you know, we do waiver rankings, but lots of places do that.
But you don't have to use theirs, but you can.
No,
but you can for just the low
but I mean,
price.
I mean, I
No,
wouldn't.
of free.
Yes.
But I think that is the most overwhelming part for a new player. Like
Sure.
even when my kids started playing at all, it was like draft is super fun, but then it's like, oh wait, I have to keep up with this over the course of the year, and it's like if they could keep them healthy, you wouldn't, but you do.
Yeah, an unfortunate fact of reality.
Yeah.
Here's another thing I want for her heading into this next season. I know after my first season of fantasy football, my second year when I was drafting, I had this even unspoken, not even understood affinity for guys I had last year. You just tend to see the name and you go like, oh, he was good for me last year. I want him again. So I wanted to go through some of her bigger picks and ask you where she should feel about them this year. If it's somebody that she should stay having, affinity for, or if the narrative has changed and she needs new information. So last year, her first round pick, which was the 9th pick overall, she got Christian McCaffrey.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I see how she won a championship. Yeah, it's always tough with him because he is either the running back 1 or 2. In basically his entire career, he's either finished as one of the 2 best running backs or missed the majority of the season. That's it. And so I think you can't play around with pretending to know who's going to be injured and not. Pick the play. Mike was pounding the table last year for Christian McCaffrey. He's not afraid of injuries. And so, I wouldn't shy away from Christian McCaffrey.
I don't think we have a problem with McCaffrey.
Okay, cool. So she can stay loving him, and she does. But, every time he's ever hit 330 touches or more, he got hurt the year after that, right, is true. So, and last year he had, 413 touches. So that feels like it's possible.
It's scary.
Sure.
Just
it's definitely possible for Christian McCaffrey to get injured.
Yeah. We could see it. The electrical substation at all.
I know.
Yes, it's taking souls.
Yeah, it sure is. Last year's second round pick, number 12 overall, Puka Nacua.
Yeah, I mean,
probably he has some off-field stuff that is still floating around that, like, if you're casual, you're not in the news and knowing that stuff. We try to report on it without lingering on it too much. But he has an off-field situation that a suspension could show up for him. It's not a guarantee that it's going to happen, but it is a dark cloud that's floating.
We talking about how he
over him.
allegedly bit a lady? Is that the one or are we talking
that would be the thing you're talking about.
I didn't know. It could have been a whole number of things, so I just wanted to make sure we were.
It actually could have been a whole number.
Yeah,
of things.
it really.
We'll go with the bite. We'll go
It
with the
wasn't
bite.
the running into the glass door at the Fanatics party, right?
No.
That wasn't.
I forgot about that one. No, that's
yeah.
number 3 on the list.
His off season is to get this man a handler.
That one's tough
making
because
bad
like
choices.
Jacobs and Puka, that's hanging over. There could be some suspension. Independent of that, attached to Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay on one of the best offenses in football, he was my number 1 ranked wide receiver. So he might be just below Chase now with the risk of the suspension, but I still see him above JSN. I think he is. He's certainly a worthy pick. You're just gonna have to deal with, holding your breath a little bit.
The other stuff.
Other stuff.
Well, and even if he does, in worst case scenario, and he gets suspended, he's not injured. You will have him for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
However many games he misses, he's still a great pick.
The guy can walk through a glass door and still be there. He can take
he's
it.
proven.
He's not made of glass himself. Okay, and then last year's 12th round pick, 112th overall, she took Caleb Williams, who actually ended up being the heart of the team. We might be making her a Bears fan based off of how much she likes Caleb Williams. He was, obviously very fun to watch last season. And from everything I've heard, this offseason, he's even looking better than he looked in the offseason before the breakout year. And so how are we feeling about Caleb Williams this year?
I mean, today we had our My Guys show. Every year we do one show where we plant a flag for 3 players each that we love going into the year, and Caleb was on the list for me. I love the fact that this offseason has gone the way it's gone. Ben Johnson year 2, and the fact that
there it is.
Look at the graphic.
There it is.
there he is.
Beautiful.
Yep.
I love
Good
him.
work back there.
She loves
Good
him.
work. Oh, I can hear it. I think you take him again. I think it's going to work out. You don't have to pay a high price in fantasy drafts for Caleb Williams. And really, in that whole thing where Mike said it's a market, right? Like he is not expensive by in relation to other quarterbacks. So whether you believe Ben Johnson's going to break every scoring record in the books, like he says he wants to do. Novel concept for a head coach to want to score a bunch of points.
But honestly, the truth is, but they don't all talk like that.
No, he talks like he just ripped his shirt off all the time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of exciting.
If I looked like that, my shirts would rip a lot too.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So I think it's a great pick.
Whoops.
I'm also now very much understanding how she won the championship.
Yeah,
So
she's got a
might
good
be able to
team.
run-
She's got a
might be able to
real
run it
good
back.
team. And again, it
Yeah.
was just basically me and a little bit of Matthew Berry prepping her for her draft, and she did.
Okay.
She did pretty well. What round
Nice.
would you say Caleb? I just don't want her to go with her first pick and take Caleb because she loves him.
No,
and
no,
wants
no,
him.
don't do that.
No.
But that'll be more like sixth
or
round
seventh round, I would
sixth.
say.
if she wants
Isabella,
to
I
make sure
assume
she
you're
gets
taking
it.
notes in there. I assume you're
There you
jotting
go.
some of this down.
I'm writing it
okay,
down, don't
fantastic,
worry.
fantastic. All right, let's ask this. What's the more important question to ask you? Because I'm thinking it's either rookie mistakes or like what's the safest pick to make in the first round. Those are the 2 questions I'm debating between asking you. So whichever you feel stronger about answering. I just want to try to help people avoid a big rookie mistake, which I think we helped a lot with the bye weeks. Of a rookie mistake is sometimes caring too much about those when they shouldn't matter as much. Is there another common rookie mistake you see?
Another rookie mistake. I was going to go with the bye.
No, do that one.
With the first round. I think the safest. I mean, obviously you've got Gibbs at number 1. If you've got number 1, great. He's unbelievable. But if you just look at the first round, you say who is so safe for where he goes? It's Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, that's his teammate.
Amon-Ra St. Brown has been the wide receiver number 3 for 3 years in a row. He is on one of the top 3 offenses in the NFL. They're returning everything. He's just so
They're
solid.
favored in 14 of 17 games.
And he's usually not even drafted in the top 3 of the wide receivers. The top running backs go ahead of him. But I can't imagine, that's the hardest player for me to imagine just a fail of a season. And even when you try to factor in injury, that dude plays through everything. His dad was like Mr. World America.
Is his dad the one that
The bodybuilder.
drink the Cokes every day?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
Gotta try that out.
He's like halftime. Have a Coca-Cola.
He's like, that'll get you going.
I feel like if he broke his leg in half, he's like, I'm playing. So I think he's as safe as it gets in the first round.
Look, it's going to sound like shameless self-promotion, but rookie mistakes, honestly, is you don't have a source of information. You're not – if you want to win, look, you can hit your picks like she did where you land on McCaffrey and Puka. You get like the main guys of that year. But if you want to win, you got to stay up to date.
Well, they had the source of information with Nolan.
Right.
She helped her out.
Yes.
You were the
so
source.
much.
You've got to
Yep,
have a
thank
source.
You. Thank you.
Yeah, so have a source and be plugged in. Be plugged
Do you
into
think
what's going on.
Pick one guy? Sometimes my flaw was I would have too much information, and then I'm in my draft going like I'm looking at too many lists at once. You would keep it. Do you keep it sort of streamlined?
That's what I think. One of the things that works about our show and how we work is we all have different opinions, and then our rankings are just basically one consensus ranking. So you're taking different viewpoints and kind of mixing them together, and you get like the best, a trifecta. And so in all of our rankings, they're free.
We fight
our waiver
all-
rankings.
we
are
fight
free.
all the time.
We disagree. So I mean, it's still one single source. But I know what you're saying. If you have 10 sources, it's like paralysis from overanalysis.
Mm-hmm.
It's too difficult.
And I guess one other thing that is always fun to pay attention to, and like everybody's league is different, but you know who's in your league. Like that one dude that's the Packer fan that's going to take the player 3 rounds too soon, or the quarterback too soon. So pay a little bit of attention to all the personalities in your league and try to it's not one size fits all, I think.
Yeah, it's a good answer. I also feel like don't let somebody else taking something crazy early make you jump on your.
Yeah.
If you start to
Correct.
see
Go
people
tilt
taking
out.
quarterbacks, don't go like, I got to get my guy. Just stay the course, I think, is good advice,
That's
too.
great advice.
Okay, so this is the bit I want to end on. And this is, again, I hope this isn't too beneath you guys. We're really trying to help people that are fresh to this. And I know you guys are pure experts. But I think sometimes you can hear a name and it sounds familiar because they're in the news or they were good 5 years ago. So I want to go through some popular names that are maybe more popular with casual fans. And you help them understand if, like, that's a guy you want to draft, or if it's like, I think you might know him from other stuff, or he's maybe too old or something like that.
Yeah,
You guys
sure.
have-
Yep.
Okay, so number one, Stephon Diggs is now on the Commanders. What do we think about how's he looking? What's his value fantasy upside this season?
So he did put up 1,000 yards coming off of a torn ACL.
That's right.
He does have really strong opportunity being on the Commanders with, as the number 2 guy. He's going very late in drafts. He got signed so late in the process that his ADP or his average draft price is still very low, and people aren't fully paying attention.
Yeah, if he goes 10th round or later, it's fine.
So
probably.
I think he represents a value still at this point.
Okay, very helpful. What about Derrick Henry of the Ravens?
That one is interesting. I think as a team, we've been pretty bullish on him this entire offseason. We call him the Yeti. He's just unstoppable,
and he gets better as the season
when the weather gets colder and the guys get more
making
injured on
business
defense.
decisions.
I don't mind taking a shot at him, but I will say this, and I haven't even said this to the guys next to me. I am starting to get really scared about Derrick Henry because the offensive line for Baltimore has become very injured this offseason, and he's the type of guy that needs that head of steam. And so I am personally starting to worry. I need him to drop a little bit in a draft
So maybe
for me
too
to want to take
overpriced
him.
for you?
Yeah, where he's
Okay.
going right now, I'm probably taking someone else.
32 years old. Just as
He's immortal.
getting up there.
We
It's crazy.
looked back at the last 5 years when we talked about Derrick Henry in the offseason, and for 5 straight years we talked about his age being a problem,
crazy.
and it's still
He's
not
like
a problem.
the exception that proves the rule. Truly,
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
it's
insane.
Frank Gore stuff. Yeah.
Okay, what about reigning MVP Matthew Stafford?
That one's funny because of his age. I think he's the oldest player being drafted in the top in fantasy. Basically, he's never expensive. Nobody actually targets Matthew Stafford despite the MVP. So I would say that what's hard for him is obviously he doesn't bring anything in the running game. Touchdowns fluctuate. He's had 40 touchdown years before. I would say you could take a shot at him at the very end of your draft, but I wouldn't let the MVP next to the name push him to a place where you're like, oh, I got to get him.
Yeah, his previous 2 years before this one, you could add up the touchdowns, and it's fewer than he had in this one singular past year. Yeah, like he's been with McVay. He's had 2 incredible seasons, but he ran really, really hot. Really, really hot there at the end. And, I mean, the way I was watching, I saw a Rams team that heard all the Drake May stuff, and they're like, we're going to get Matthew Stafford the MVP. We're going to force some touchdowns that maybe we wouldn't normally try to force.
True.
So, for the most part, unless he might be free in the draft, it just depends. But I'm not clamoring for Stafford.
It's good advice. What about Travis Kelce of the Chiefs?
Nah. He's Hall of Famer, first ballot, amazing. He'll be drafted higher than he should be because he's Travis Kelce. But nah.
He used to
That's
be
one
one
of
of
those
those tight ends that you were talking about, where it's like if you're not
Yes,
getting the top
exactly.
2 guys, you don't go.
Now
But he is not that anymore.
Yeah, now he's one of those tight ends I'm talking about.
Yeah,
the middle
difference
rounds you
between
avoid.
him and someone else won't be. Yeah, 36 years old. And then last one, Aaron Rodgers. Are we drafting Aaron Rodgers as our starting quarterback?
Oh,
it's just a
please
name
give me-
people know.
Give me Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
we'll pass on that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's a nice way to say it. Yeah, there's just a lot of other
I mean,
options.
what a career though.
Yeah, for
yes.
sure.
Yeah.
In
I
many
would say
ways.
that if about 28 other quarterbacks were gone in my draft, then maybe I'd think about it.
Yeah,
What
like
a
a
nice
5
thing.
quarterback league.
Yeah.
We're really compounding the insult now.
Yeah, no, he's 42 years old and just doing his best, you guys. You don't have to be so mean. All right, last little thing. What's your naming convention for your teams? You guys, are you like, you've done so much fantasy that you're like, I'm sick of this. I just go with like my awesome team. Or do you have like do you go with a pun? Do you go with based off of somebody you've drafted? What's your strategy?
I never use players in the names because I'm building a legacy here.
Okay,
I'm
beautiful.
building a multi-year hang the banner legacy.
Yes. Yeah.
But I've heard some good ones. I mean, I always go back to my favorite one ever was the when Game of Thrones was big and Daenerys Thomas was playing. Daenerys Targaryen was my favorite.
That's great.
I liked Teenage Mutant Ninja Bortles back when Bortles was playing. But yeah, I'm the same way. I don't go naming players usually.
And there's rules. Like if you have a player pun, that player better be on your
gotta
team.
be on your team.
I agree with you on that. I absolutely agree with you on that.
You trade him, and you're changing your team name halfway through.
You can't be McBridezilla without McBride on your team.
Exactly.
you.
Yeah, and don't name your team that before the draft and then like pass up on him when it's your
that's
turn.
true.
It's like,
Yeah, then
what?
you're
You
stuck.
got to take the guy. That's
That's
well, I
true.
was always the Tootsie Sproles, and Darren Sproles was always on my team. Was always on my team until
That's
he
the
couldn't.
rules.
That's how it goes. Guys, thank you so much for all of your help with this. I think you've really helped a lot of casuals be in a better place heading into their draft. Mike, Jason, Andy from the Fantasy Footballers, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Okay, welcome back. Big thanks to Mike and Jason and Andy for coming by. The Fantasy Footballers. Get their draft kit. Go to their website, fantasyfootballers.com, and check out their podcast and their content anywhere that you can so that you can be ready for your fantasy football draft. Speaking of which, we have to finish saying who has made it to the Casuals official fantasy football league for this season. We have named how many? I've lost track of the numbers. How many?
7 so far.
7 so far, which means we have 11 spots. 4 spots left to fill. And we're going to name those now. Again, the prompt was give us a time that you were the Cinderella, your Cinderella story, that you walked into something you had no business winning and you won it anyway. So many great emails poured in. Actually, I should say are still pouring in. Please stop now because we're done now. But even if you didn't make it, there were so many great stories that you guys sent us that were very inspiring and awesome. And so we wanted to say, I just don't want anyone feeling bad about opening up and telling a great story. And then they're like, I'm not good enough. You are good enough. There's just only 11 spots. Do you know what I mean? And so we love you and we mean it. And thank you, everybody, for submitting everything that you did. Without further ado, I don't know who's going first, but can we reveal our next member of the Casuals 2026 Fantasy Football League?
Next up to the league is Katie.
Oh.
Other Katie.
Okay.
But welcome, Katie.
Being replaced, but okay.
There are many Katies, but if this is you, hear me out. Junior year of college, University of Minnesota. It was 11 p.m., and I was preparing to pull an all-nighter writing a paper I should have started a week ago.
Shout out. That
I
sounds
saw
like
a
me.
sign that said, free tickets to the Minnesota-Ohio State football game. I sleepily wrote my contact info on a piece of paper and slipped it into the Dropbox. A few days later, I was still recovering from that all-nighter, and I was in the middle of a glorious college afternoon nap when I got a call from the contest people. I had won. What I didn't know was that in addition to the tickets, I also won a chance to kick a 30-yard field goal during the game and win $5,000.
Easy.
I had never tried kicking a field goal before, but how hard could it be? I said yes. And like any millennial, I posted about the contest on Facebook. To my surprise, a bunch of friends were very invested in teaching me how to kick a field goal. One of my friends even knew the kicker for the football team, and he kindly agreed to meet me after practice and teach me how to kick a football. The day finally came, and it seemed like everyone I knew was at the game that night. My parents even came to the football game. My friend Lindsay was telling everyone she knew in the student section that her friend would be in the field goal contest. I was insanely nervous, but I tried not to think about it too much. I took a deep breath, counted my steps backward like the kicker taught me, and flailed my leg as hard as I could at the ball.
As you would.
Now, I know you guys are looking for annoying winners of contests that they should not have won. Unfortunately, I did not win that night. The ball went about 3 feet in front of me and sadly rolled down the field. I suddenly knew how it felt to have 50,000 people boo you.
Yeah.
And while I may have lost that night, later that year it gave me a funny conversation starter with my future boyfriend, who is now my husband. My friend Lindsay introduced us, and on our first date, he said to me, "Wait, were you the girl Lindsay told us to cheer for who missed the field goal?" And I said, "Yep, that was me." And the rest is history. I feel like that's a win, right?
Wait, that's so
Definitely.
cute, actually, because I did see Isabella go, well, then why are you in the league? I saw her face go,
We had a lot of submissions of people trying.
Yeah, you have to have one. But I think in the end,
Yeah, beautiful.
she did win. And so that's really sweet. Congratulations, Katie. Get a new name, but congratulations. There can only be one, but congratulations and welcome to the league. Chris, who is our next member of the Fantasy Football League?
Next up, we have Zach.
Welcome, Zach.
Welcome to the league, Zach. And Zach writes in and says, years ago, I was dating someone far more outgoing than I was. I had always been more of a middling jock. She and her friends had big theater kid energy. So when she announced that her birthday party would be a Wizard of Oz themed and costumes were mandatory, I saw an opportunity to prove I could hang.
Nice.
I considered the classics, Scarecrow, Cowardly Lion, maybe even going in drag as Dorothy. But while scrolling through pictures from the movie, inspiration struck. I would be one of the Wicked Witch's flying monkeys.
Oh.
Knowing I was about to enter the natural habitat of a flamboyant theater kid friend group, I committed completely. I assembled the outfit from thrift store finds, made my own tiny hat and wings, and most critically, covered every visible inch of my body in bright blue paint. Then I arrived at the party and discovered that I had wildly misjudged the level of competition. There were a couple of half-hearted Dorothys, a scarecrow or two wearing overalls, someone in a Spirit Halloween line costume, the obligatory Wicked Witches. Meanwhile, I came scampering through the door in full flying monkey mode, homemade wings flapping, and body-painted Smurf blue. My girlfriend, who was dressed as Dorothy, literally hit the floor laughing. I won the contest by a landslide.
I would
a
hope
contest
so.
I had absolutely no business taking that seriously, much less winning. But even better than the victory itself was my walk of shame home the next morning, still wearing remnants of the costume and only partially successful at removing the blue body paint. Apparently, every now and then, the reserved sports guy can outshine a room full of born performers.
Wow. Wow.
Good job, Zach.
What kind of theater kids are these? What do you mean there was some witches and like two half-hearted Dorothys and a lion from Spirit Halloween? I think that's cool that he went all the way out. Shout out, Zach. God damn, that's so funny. Has anyone ever, that's a common, has anyone ever overdone it for a costume party and then been like, oh, whoops.
You
Nobody
would be
here is
surprised to know that I don't like dressing up in costumes.
What?
So
No. The guy with no social media who doesn't like to dance? No, you don't like dressing up in costume? I'm shocked.
You've never been Katie Heron as an ex-wife?
Oh, yeah, man, that was so funny. Also, that lady who I think then went on to direct, was she direct the Camp Miasma, Teenage Death at Camp Miasma? The girl who's,
Ooh, I
you see
wanna
that
watch
clip
that.
of the lady that's like, she's like, I underestimated, I thought everybody was getting dressed up, and she's dressed as like the Babadook, but there, no one else is in
Oh, I've seen
costume.
that,
I think
yeah.
I think she's somehow associated with that movie. I half know everything. I don't know if anyone's noticed from listening to this. I know a little bit, not enough, about literally everything. Okay, we got two more. So without further ado, is it Brady reading the next one? Brady, who's our next member of our league?
It's mine. Welcome in, Megan. And she specifically
Megan.
said, not a Megan. Megan.
Not a Megan. That's important. Hear that, Chris?
Megan says, in middle school, I reluctantly joined a Knights of Columbus free throw shootout.
I'm sorry.
It's the kind of event your parent is running and you just end up joining because you get dragged along anyways. I'm 12 years old. The stakes are low. No real concerns about how I do. I should note, I've only played YMCA basketball and knew even back then that it wasn't for me. And free throws, definitely not for me. I wasn't a very tall kid, so it's never really been in my wheelhouse. To set the scene, they call for all the 12-year-old girls to line up, and it's just me. My first instinct is that I'm excited. No competitors. Woohoo!
Yeah.
But then the inevitable nerves set in. They call me up and I, quote, compete. I make 0 free throws. Even worse, they're all air balls. However, as I mentioned, I have no competitors, so I technically move to the next round. Yay. The next few stages of the competition happen to be held at the same place, so I have the pleasure of continuing for 3 more weeks in the comfort of my own church gym. You'd think that with a larger reach for the competition, there would eventually be someone to compete with, right? Nope. I somehow make it through each stage without someone to shoot against, and I continue my streak of making 0 free throws. I happened to make it all the way to the state level, but then chose not to compete. I would have actually had to travel to this one and decided it was so embarrassing and not worth it. I don't even remember what the prize was, but I wasn't willing to airball my way to find out. I haven't touched a basketball since, but I do confidently have a regional free throw shootout champion trophy sitting at home.
Huh.
Megan, your regional free throw champion with a combined total of 0 free throws made.
Beautiful.
Going out on top.
Whoa. All right. That counts technically, I guess. Welcome to the league. And with our last submission, our last member, and again, if I haven't said it enough, thank you to everybody who sent in emails. They were all awesome. We read them all. The last member of the Fantasy Football League for the Casuals podcast for 2026 is
Matt.
Okay, and that could be anybody. So let's let him get
Congratulations,
to the email. Let's see which Matt it is.
Matt's email says, "My name is Matt." So there you go. It's Matt.
There it is. And that's it for the show, guys. Big thanks to... Go ahead.
And I won something that I wish I hadn't.
Oh.
My wife is from Minnesota, and there's a story from the first time I joined her family's summer vacation. There's a small town called Nacua, Minnesota, and they host annual turtle races, which are very popular and bring in hundreds, if not thousands, of people.
Whoa.
The turtle races comprise of 20 people at a time being given a bucket with a turtle in it, and the turtles race. My wife's family told me that I had to participate and sign me up. When my number was called, I realized that it was going to be me, a 29-year-old man, and 19 small children. What my wife and her family didn't tell me is that the turtle races are for kids, 90% of whom are tops 6 years old.
Oh, no.
I'm already
my
embarrassed being the
God.
only unaccompanying adult, and sure enough, I win my heat.
Oh, no.
I feel terrible for beating all of these kids, and now I advance to the finals.
See, that's how you do
Mercifully,
it.
my turtle in the finals chose not to leave the starting line, and a small child won.
Thank
Love to say.
God. Thank
I wish you won. What the hell?
God. Isabella's like, out of the league. Sorry.
No
you have
mercy.
to win.
No mercy.
You have to win. You didn't win. Out of the league. You wouldn't feel, Isabella, in that situation, I would be going like, I'm so sorry. Nobody told me I'm being pranked.
I'd be like, well,
I'm being
listen, this is
pranked."
when you learn that you can't win all the time.
Actually, you're going to be
Right in their
ahead of
face.
other peers your age because you learned a tough lesson.
Well, doesn't it
really
make sense
early.
that the one adult amongst 6-year-olds
Yeah.
would win?
Oh, maybe try again in 27 years when you're my age, okay? Because I'm going to wipe the floor with your turtle ass, 6-year-old. Okay, that's our league.
There it is.
To recap, just so we're all in one place. Alexi, whose story was about All-Star Papa-Shot. We've got John from Godzilla Pinball. Andrea or Andrea, we're not. Oh,
Andrea did email back to say it's an Andrea.
Andrea, thank you.
Yes.
Andrea, the Queen soloist. Luis, the lacrosse all-star. Marin, the competitive eating champ. Margaret, Mrs. Olympia. Tim, the ex-Mennonite, who I saw in the subreddit go, happy to answer any and all questions about being a Mennonite. Katie from Kickin' in Minnesota. Zach, the flying monkey who went way too hard in the paint. Megan, not Megan, the regional free throw champion. Matt, the turtle racer. And of course, last but certainly not least, Isabella, the champion. That is your fantasy football league for our podcast for 2026. Very exciting. Thank you for all of your submissions. I mean, we're going to keep doing this every year, so don't worry. Someday, everybody will have a chance to get into it. Isabella, the only last sort of order of business when it comes to this league, now that we have all of the members, is sort of deciding when we would like to do the actual draft.
So I'm down to do it at nighttime
Okay.
in the comfort of my own home.
I think that is the right way to go, because last time we made you do it here, and it was a little...
Yeah, in the middle of a
difficult.
recording.
Yeah. And are we going to be recording this and capturing any of it for
If you want, I
content?
can
don't know if-
capture myself. I
guess
can go
we
on
could-
live. What do you want me to do?
Whoa, now don't make offers that you're going to regret in the future, but I do think we should maybe offline, we'll have a little meeting about this and come back. That being said, let's pick a time now so that Zach and Megan and Margaret, et cetera, all of your new sworn enemies can plan when they're going to be here for the draft. What day and time would you like to do?
Let's do Tuesday at 8 p.m.
Okay, so that is
Eastern.
Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday the blank.
Second?
Second.
First.
Jesus
September 1st.
Christ. Tuesday, September 1st. Tuesday, Colin Firth at 8 p.m. Eastern is the draft for the Fantasy League. Now, what, Brady, if somebody can't make it, what should they do? Email you? Set it to auto draft? I don't know what to...
We can
You're gonna
either
have to
have
figure
a
it
we
out.
can
If you
draft by
wanted
proxy.
to-
We can have an auto draft.
Fantastic. So
Let's
that's
figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
But we're going to tell you what time it is, and that's when it's going to be.
Great. So that's when it is. And if you got an issue with that, take it up with Isabella, honestly. And she's really hard to get through to, and she's not very nice. I know she plays nice on this podcast. She's actually kind of... Isabella, look over there for a second. She's kind of a bitch. So be careful, and best of luck to you. Thank you, everybody, for your submissions. Thank you to the fantasy footballers. Use their draft kit if you really want to crush your draft this year. Good luck to everybody in their various fantasy football seasons. And there couldn't possibly be something that I've missed. So rest in peace, Dolly Parton. We fucking love you. You are everything a human could hope to be. And thank you for being it for a little bit on Earth while we were as well. We love you. We mean it. We'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.